Thank you, Steve. I might need some help. I'll ask you if I do. Appreciate the help. We'll give everybody time to get started and get in here. I said we'd start at 7, so I'm a little early. If you don't care, Steve, try typing 45 in chat. Let's see if Nightbot's dropping links like it's supposed to. Yep, it's working. That's good. Eddie took good care of me. Like I said, at 7 o'clock we'll get started. I've got a little intro clip I'm going to try to play, and we'll talk a little bit about emergency food and water storage, and then go from there. Got some time. I might try to post a StreamYard link and see if anybody wants to come up and add anything to the conversation later on. Probably stop at 8 o'clock tonight. Hello, Tiffany. Steve already said hello. I'll say hello again to you. Rebecca, I appreciate everybody coming in here tonight. Hopefully, I've got Nightbot straightened out. You can type 45 and it should drop your link. If there's anybody lurking out there in the background, don't be shy. Jump up in the chat. We'll talk about some food and water storage for emergency situations. And plan on going for about an hour, probably into 8 o'clock, and then we'll go from there. If we got some time, I'll try to post a link for StreamYard in there, and if anybody wants to come up and add anything, then we'll do that. I'll be more than happy to do that. For anybody that's new, if you're in here, I appreciate you being here. Hello, Mark's Trapping and Outdoors. The one thing I want people to kind of understand, the people that I give blue wrenches to and make moderators is people that I know and I've interacted with on their channel or in their live streams. Once I get to know you and know who you are, then we can definitely add you in as a moderator. And we add Tiffany. And of course, the other thing is, if I do open it up to a panel, if I don't know you, please understand, but I won't invite you up on the panel. It's just kind of the way I want to do things. Hello, Coffee Outdoors. Appreciate you stopping in. But like I said, that's just the way I want to do things. I'm new at this as far as doing these live streams. I've been putting content out for almost a year now. Won't be long. I'll start losing some watch hours. So, but we'll grow as we grow. But we'll kind of hang out for just another minute and let any stragglers come in that's out there. As I go along and talk about this stuff, please, if you've got any questions, type them in the chat and I'll do my best to answer them. Again, especially like Mark's Trapping and Coffee Outdoors, if you'll type 45 in the chat, Nightbot will drop a link to your channel, because some of you guys may be new to some of these other people out there, and that way they can go and check out your channel, and that might be something they'd be interested in subscribing to, and you can check them out too as they drop their links. That's one of the things that I want to do is, let's continue for everybody to grow their channels and show YouTube that there's people out there that's interested in different things. We can all help each other and we can all learn from each other. I see people saying hello to everybody. That's good. Again, anybody that if I missed you, I didn't intend to, welcome. Appreciate you being here. And we'll go ahead and get started. But what I kind of wanted to talk about tonight was emergency food and water storage. To me, that's something that's important that we should have. We all have to eat. We all have to drink water. And you just never know when a natural or man-made disaster may hit your area and where you're at. And you might not be able to get out to a grocery store. Any of you live in the South, I know Steve does, but he may be too far south, but I know here in Kentucky, in eastern Kentucky, if the weatherman predicts snow, you can forget about going to the store and getting a loaf of bread or a gallon of milk or a dozen of eggs for whatever reason. Everybody runs out to the store and buys up all the milk and the eggs. And the bread, I guess they're going to make a bunch of French toast. I'm afraid they're going to get snowed in, and that just shows you that the stores don't have a large amount of stock in the back rooms like people think they do. They got what's on the shelf and maybe a little bit in the back, and it's real easy for them to run out of stuff, and you may not be able to get something. So it's a good idea to have some stuff on hand. But the first thing I want to talk about is water. Water is a basic necessity for life, something that we all got to have. There's several ways to store water for emergency use. The simplest being just a plain old bottle of water. Or you can buy the water in the gallon jugs. The general guidelines at FEMA and most preparedness experts put out, they say 1 gallon of water per person per day. And what people, I hope you understand that that guideline, that's for drinking and cooking basic meals and a little bit of basic hygiene, such as brushing your teeth. You know, that don't include water for taking a bath and flushing toilets and doing the dishes. So you need to account for that also. But by using that 1 gallon per person, that makes it kind of easy to plan too ahead of time. Hello, Devil Dog. Appreciate you coming in, Eddie. Let me get you set up as a moderator real quick. But like I was saying about the water, by going by that 1 gallon per person, that makes it kind of easy to plan out. So, if you've got 4 people in your household, then you're going to need 4 gallons per day. And I generally recommend that everybody have enough stuff at home to last 2 weeks. So if you've got 4 people in the house, that's 4 gallons per day. That's 56 gallons of water to last 2 weeks. Now, the thing about water is it's heavy, it's bulky, makes it difficult to store, especially with people that live in apartments or small houses. You may not have a space to store that much water. But, a gallon of water weighs a little over 8 pounds. What I do here, we do a combination. I keep the 40 packs of bottled water on hand. One of those 40 packs is equal to 5 gallons. The other thing I do, and I really like these, we'll see if you can see this, but these 5 gallon military water containers, they're very thick, heavy duty plastic, and they're easy to fill up right there at home, and then you can store them away and have them maybe every 6 months. You might want to dump them out, refresh the water, especially if you're filling it from a well. It may not have no chlorine in it. And the other thing I like to use is these 7 gallon camping containers. And I emptied these out so I could raise them up in front of the camera. But what I like about these is this spigot here that's in the lid. It's got a vent up here at the top. You can open that vent up a little bit. And what we do when our water's off here is we'll set this on the counter with this spigot over top of the sink, and you can just open the valve. The water will run out. It's easy to fill a container, or real handy for washing your hands. And you can unscrew that lid and this little spigot right here. We'll screw into the back side of that lid. And then you just put that back on your container. And that way that spigot's not sticking up. They are plastic, so they will get broke. And then the other thing about these is they're grooved on the bottom so that you can stack them, which I generally won't stack them over too high. But I've got about, I think, 6 of those 7 gallon blue containers and probably a dozen of the military containers. So, we're just, what I'm saying there, you can see storing water is kind of a difficult thing to do. It does require a lot of space. So the best thing to do is, in addition to having water storage, hello, Zombie Prepper. Welcome. Glad you came in, sir. me add you to the moderators too. And like I said, anybody out there, please, if you got a question, put it up in the chat and I will try to answer it. But in addition to storing water, you need the ability to replenish that water. And that water that you're replenishing with needs to be something that's safe to drink. And there's a lot of different ways of doing that. You know, one of the simplest ways is just to boil it for 1 minute at a rolling boil. If you're in a higher elevation, I think it's above 5,000 feet, then you want to do it for 3 minutes. But yeah, just, you know, bring it up to a boil, let it roll at a rolling boil for 1 minute, and let it cool off. But, you know, the thing about boiling water like that is that is going to take a lot of fuel, and you may not have the grid, might not have no electricity. So if you're depending on the electricity to run your stove, you might not be able to boil that water. I like to have several methods. And, you know, the prepping community, you'll hear that if you've ever watched any of the prepping videos anywhere, you'll keep hearing them talk about 2 is 1 and 1 is none. You know, if you've got 2 of something and 1 breaks, you still got 1. If you got 1 of something and it breaks, then you ain't got nothing. So, you know, we have the one of the Berkey type filters that you can set on the countertop that holds about 1.5 gallons of water. And we also, I like these little Sawyer minis. They're cheap, not as cheap as used to be like everything else, but you can pick one of these up at Walmart for about $21. And this little filter right here, well, is rated to filter 100,000 gallons of water. That's a lot of water. And these are easy to carry in a bug out bag or a get home pack or whatever. The other good thing about these Sawyers, they've got a straw with them that you can connect on the bottom and then simply drink from a stream or whatever, like the Life Straw. But these are a much better filter than a Life Straw and last a whole lot longer. They come with a little bag. You put your dirty water in this bag, unscrew the cap, screw the filter onto the end of the bag, and then you just let the water run from the bag through the filter into a clean container. And I'm going to try to get a video shot this weekend. Me and my son's going out camping. I'm going to be shooting some videos outdoors, and that's one of them I plan on doing, is using this filter. The other thing the filter comes with is a syringe. So after you filtered the water, you can take some of your clean water and pull it up into that syringe. Then you just take the syringe and put it on the end that the water comes out, and push that syringe and force water back through that filter, and it'll back flush it and it'll help keep it clean. Rebecca, the blue wine barrels, I'm assuming did they have wine in them before you got them? If so, I would probably clean them with some soap and water real good first. If you can get a pressure washer nozzle and have a pressure washer, you might want to use that too. Then I would put some bleach in it and clean it with the bleach, and then I'd put some water with some pretty strong bleach in it and let it sit for a few days, and then rinse it several times. And it should be good. I know I've tried some that had they had pickles in them before, and that was just an odor I just couldn't get rid of. It didn't matter how many times I cleaned it or how much bleach I put in it. But yeah, those blue barrels are great. I've got some of the 55-gallon ones. But in addition to those Sawyer Minis, I do have one of the MSR filters. They generally, the military used those. I know Devil Dog was in the Marines. That was one of the things I know Marine Recon used those at one time. I don't know if they still do or not. But they're a pump type filter. They got a hose and you just drop it into the water source and you just pump the water through that filter and into your container. Very good filter, very expensive filter. When I got mine, it was $90, and that was years ago. And I don't know what the current price on them is, but I do know they don't filter as much water as the Sawyer. And anybody that's came in new, if you're up here in the chat, welcome. If you're not in the chat, jump up in here and join us. Ask a question. If you got a channel that you're creating videos on, type 45 in the chat. Nightbot will drop your link so people can go check out your channel. Whenever you are gathering water from an outside source, it's the best to get it from a flowing stream or a spring that's flowing so that water's moving. You don't want to get it out of a stagnant pond, but sometimes we got to do what we got to do. The other thing about water filters, you want to try to pre-filter that water before you put it through your filter. You can use a piece of cloth. A coffee filter works good for smaller amounts. Just depends on the amount that you're trying to put through it. And the thing that I have that I recently found out about is what they call a millbank bag. This one comes from Camp Creek Outdoors. It's just a canvas bag, real heavy canvas. It's got a paracord loop on the end. And you can either just scoop the water up with this or take a container and pour the water in it and then hang that up. And the water will run out down here into another container. That way, if there's any solids, leaves, debris, grit and sand, especially if it's a shallow area where you're trying to get water, it'll take all that out. And that'll help save your filter and make your filter last a lot longer. And these is like $18, I think. And it comes with a wax canvas bag with it so that you can, once you get that, you want to wet that before you put it in, put the water in to filter through it. Then when you take it out, you can just put it in that wet, in this wax canvas bag. And that'll keep your pack or whatever you're putting it in from getting wet inside. But I like those millbank bags. I first seen that on Ugly Tent channel that does a lot of the bushcrafting stuff. And that's one thing that I've tried to do. And is I'm trying to take the best information I can get from the prepping community, the homesteading community, the bushcrafting community, and taking all that information and putting it together and using what works well for me. Yeah, Eddie, the bottled water, it may get an off taste to it if it sits for a very, very long time. The other thing is you don't, and I seen Zombie mention that about keeping them in a cool, dark place. You don't want to leave these sitting out in the sun where they're getting sunlight on them, because some of that plastic may leach out into the water. They've kind of got these where they ain't supposed to do that now, but I wouldn't bet my life on that. They do have an expiration date on them. That don't mean the water's bad. That's the government saying that you got to get some new water and throw this away. We keep ours in our pantry where our food storage is at, and I generally try to keep at least 540 packs on hand at all times. But like I was talking about, you want to pre-filter that water before you try to boil it or treat it with chemicals or whatever. The other thing that I keep in my packs, and I use the military canteens and canteen cups, but these water purification tabs that you can pick up in any of the camping sections. They're convenient for bags and stuff, but for doing a large amounts of water, you're not going to do a whole lot with them. Let's see. Deb, welcome in. What event do you think would trigger the need to use my prepped goods, political, social, or environmental? Well, to be honest with you, probably all of the above. But, I'm more worried about weather, storm-related conditions, which would be environmental. I mean, you can watch the news and it seems like there's trains derailing all over the country and water is getting contaminated. I live in eastern Kentucky, and it's common here, especially in the wintertime. We've went as much as 2 weeks without electricity and 3 weeks without running water. If it gets real cold, the power goes off. First thing that happens with the city water treatment in our area is their pipes freeze and their tanks, or everybody leaves their water freezing at night. And afraid it's going to freeze up, they'll leave it running and they run the tanks dry. So they turn them off. And then the lines freeze and bust, and it's 2 to 3 weeks sometimes getting it back into certain areas in the county here. So, to me, that's the main thing for me, having water storage and having food storage. Not like it was when I was a kid. I remember we used to get some snowstorms, and this, as we call it, the holler I live in, you wouldn't go nowhere for at least a week, not in a vehicle, because they didn't scrape roads. They didn't do the things they do now. So to me, and I'm not one of these doomsday preppers, the world's going to end and the asteroid is going to hit and the zombies are coming along with the aliens. And I try to do what I'm going to start saying, let's be practical and not tactical. Look at your area and what do you think is most likely events that's going to occur? Is it weather related? Do you live in a city where these might be some riots and it just ain't really safe to go out for a few days until they get things back under control? Everybody's situation's different. Everybody needs to plan accordingly. I'll try to give you the basic information and you can do what you like with it. But chlorine, bleach, Clorox is another good way to purify water. 8 drops of Clorox bleach to a gallon of water. Let it sit for 30 minutes. The thing you want to make sure of is if you're using bleach, you're using bleach that's just plain bleach. It's not scented and ain't got no fabric softeners or nothing added to it. It's just straight bleach. And the other thing about storing Clorox bleach or any brand, can't talk tonight, any brand of bleach is that chlorine will evaporate out of that bleach and it's going to lose strength over time. So you want to keep that rotated through your laundry and rotate it out quite frequently. The other thing you want to make sure you have if you plan on storing bleach is a medicine dropper so that you can measure 8 drops of bleach. They're cheap and easy to come by. You can get a box of 20 of them off Amazon for $6 or $7. They come with that straight tip or the little curved tip, but you definitely want to have some of those and keep them where you know where they're at. Keep them with your water purification stuff. Now, the thing that I like to keep on hand is the pool shock. Now, the thing I want to tell you about the pool shock, and I don't even see this on the shelves anymore, but this got a big old long fancy name that I'm probably going to butcher all to pieces. But it's sodium dichlorotrioxane dihydrate. But everybody just calls it dichlor. Now, the thing about this dichlor is it's a lot more shelf stable than granulated chlorine. So it's not as caustic, and it has been approved by the EPA and the World Health Organization to purify water. And let's see if I can bring this up. Well, we open that screen back up. And I don't know how well you can see this, but this is from the EPA, Emergency Disinfection of Drinking Water. Got it in bright red. Only use water that has been properly disinfected for drinking, cooking, making prepared drinks, washing dishes, and brushing teeth. Of course, it talks about boiling the water, using household bleach, and it has to be at least 6 or 8.25% sodium hypochlorite. Don't use scented, color safe, or bleaches with added cleaners. If the water's cloudy, let it settle and filter it through a clean cloth, paper towel, or coffee filter. I kind of already talked about that. Use your dropper and decide how much bleach to add. If it's 6% bleach, you're going to add 8 drops. If it's 8.25%, you're going to add 6 drops. If the water's real cloudy or colored or very cold, double the amount of bleach that you're going to put in it. Stir it up, let it sit for 30 minutes. The water should have a slight chlorine odor. If it doesn't, repeat the dosage and let it stand for another 15 minutes. And anybody in here that was in the military, if you ever drunk water out of them water buffaloes, that we called them, the water tanks they towed around behind a deuce and a half, it tasted like drinking water out of a swimming pool because it had so much chlorine in it, but we was glad to get it. If after 30 minutes the chlorine taste is too strong, pour it from one container into another back and forth, and that'll leach out some more of the chlorine, or you can just let it sit for a couple more hours. But this has the chart, tells you how to do it. And then right here, it talks about other disinfection methods. And it's talking about granular calcium hypochlorite or pool shock. First step you do is you make basically a gallon of bleach is what you're going to do. But you add a heaping teaspoon to 2 gallons of water and stir it up until it dissolves. And you're basically going to have 2 gallons of bleach. And then you just go back to the 8 drops. Now, the thing about this dichlor that I was talking about, let me pull this back off here. But this dichlor, the documentation for it came from the World Health Organization. And what they say about this, and that was an old saying that we learned early when I first started into preparedness, was 1/4 to 1. a quarter to 1, let it set 30 minutes, and then it's done. You put a quarter teaspoon of this to 55 gallons of water, and it's supposedly safe to drink. So it's a little bit better than the calcium hypochlorite, the Clorox brand that you find at the stores now in the swimming pool aisle. That's the other thing I'll tell you right now. It's probably a good time to go out and buy some of this, because swimming pool season's winding down, and the stuff that they got on the shelves, they're probably going to mark down. That document there that I showed you from the EPA, if anybody wants that document, all you have to do is send me an email, and I will happily send it to you on an email. And that way you've got it, or you can just Google search it and pull it offline yourself, however you wish to do it. But I'll be happy to share that document with anybody. And that's the other thing, when we get done here tonight, if you've got questions on any of this stuff, my email is in my About section on my channel page. Shoot me an email. I'll answer it to the best of my ability. The other thing about using this pool shock, any type of it, it is chlorine, it is caustic. So you want to make sure you've got some rubber gloves on and safety glasses. You don't want to spill that stuff on you. I keep mine in the original container, and that's another reason I bought these in these plastic bottles like this. They're easy to just stick up on the shelf like they are. You don't want to store them around your food, so put them in a different location. Some people buy it in the packages. You'll see it in like a little 1 pound package. Alaska Granny's got a real good video out talking about that. She had some in storage. She'd actually put it in a glass mason jar, which was a good thing, because those packs eventually busted open. And so you don't want to store this stuff in a metal container. You want to keep it in a plastic or glass container, and you want to keep it sealed up. Yes, I've got notes off to the side here. Let's see, where did I set that at? Oh, right here. The other thing you probably want to have on hand is some of these test strips that you use to test to make sure that you got chlorine in your swimming pool. I want to keep some of these on hand. That way, if you're doing a large volume of water, you can use one of those test strips, and it will turn yellow to indicate the presence of chlorine. If you ain't got no presence of chlorine in that water, you probably want to add some more and do it over again. Any questions that I can try to answer? And if anybody's came in, welcome. Appreciate you stopping by. Don't be bashful and lurk in the background. Jump up here in the chat. Say hello to everybody. If you've got a channel and you're doing video content, type 45 in the chat. Nightbot will drop your link. And that way, people can go and check out your channel. Let's see. Ozark Band Outdoors. So with pond water, would you still boil it after it went through a filter straw? I would not. But then again, you want to kind of have a general idea about that pond water. The safest thing would be to filter it and then boil it, because that will ensure that there's nothing left. These Sawyer Minis, I was trying to, yeah, they go down to 0.1 microns. So that's a very good filter. You know, Again, it's going to depend on your filter. If you've got the ability and want to make sure, yeah, I would go ahead and boil it too. If you're on foot and trying to travel and get from one place to another, you may not have time to stop and boil it. So I would definitely run it through a filter. And then you can add some of the tablets to it to ensure that it's good and safe to drink. You know, I mentioned the little eyedroppers. Make sure you got those. Make sure you got some plastic measuring spoons, measuring cups on hand. And again, the directions for how to purify that water using whatever method you've decided that you want to use. I print the directions off and I actually run them through a laminator and laminate them. And I keep a set of those directions with that dichlor and the measuring cups and spoons and eyedroppers all in one location right where I know where they're at. Because if you're in a stressful situation, you might not remember that. You might forget the directions exactly how to do it, and that'll be the wrong time to be trying to remember. And Hillbilly Chicken Ranch, she mentioned something the other day in one of her videos, and I agree 100%. We rely too much on these and on computers anymore. And the internet may not be there. This phone might not be working. And you might not be able to get those files that you saved on a computer or on your phone. So stuff like that, that's real important, you need to print off and have hard copies of. And I like to laminate them and put them in ring binders. I had at one time probably over 500 files of prepping information, food recipes, purifying water, gardening directions, different things saved on a computer that I didn't get around to printing out. That computer ended up crashing and with no hopes of recovering anything, and I lost all that information and no way to get it back. And some of that stuff was from back in the 2007, 2008 that you probably can't even find out there anymore. And Zombies mentioned my background here. That's Don't Tread on Me. That's kind of a common theme with me. You'll see that on hats and t-shirts, and that's something I'm trying to find out about, is getting some t-shirts made up with that on the sleeve and something on the front for my channel. But again, any important information that, could mean the difference between life and death for you and your family, print it off if you have to write it out by hand and put it somewhere. Because again, the power might be off, the phone systems might be down, the internet might be out, and you might not be able to get that information off of your phone or whatever. Zombies mentioning Faraday cages. That's another good idea. I keep communication gear in a metal container for that reason. And that might be something we talk about in a future live, is communications or medical or, So if that's something you all are interested in, let me know in the comments. It's definitely something that we can do. The whole thing I'm trying to do here is I want us to all learn from each other. I'm definitely by far, I ain't no expert at this. I've been doing it for a long time though. I have learned a lot over the years, and I'm just trying to share what I know with people. And the other thing, I'm just giving you information. Don't take my word for it. Don't take any other YouTuber's word for it, or some magazine article that you read, or something you've seen on the Facebook group. Please do your own research, get your own information, and make your own decisions based on what you researched and what you believe will work for you. Any questions? Hello, Susan. It's a Hillbilly Chicken Ranch. Welcome. Glad you made it in. I'm flapping my gums and trying to put out some information. No problem at all with listening. You can type 45 in the chat and Nightbot should drop your link. It's been working so far. Eddie done a good job and hooked me up with that. But we'll go ahead and let's talk a little bit about food storage. We all need to eat. And you can tell by looking at me, I definitely like to eat. Kind of recommended 2,000 calories a day for each adult in the household. If you've ever watched Bear Independent, Bear talks about 3,000 calories per day for food storage. And that's based on a middle-aged male in good condition. During an event, we're probably going to be doing some strenuous activities that we're not used to. We're probably going to need more than 2,000 calories per day. So, I mean, for me, generally on food storage, I try to go with the 3,000 calories, and that gives you a little cushion. And if you've got a couple of small children in the family and you're basing that 3,000 calories on them too, that definitely gives you a little bit more of a cushion. So you may go a little bit longer than what you're anticipating. But Bear Independent has got a great channel for preppers and people just interested in being prepared for emergencies. He's got a video series called The Prepper Classroom that is excellent. That covers everything from food and water to medical to communications to shelter. I would encourage you to go check that video series out. Well, like I said, I kind of go with the 3,000 calories per day. Probably going to be doing some strenuous activities. You may be having to build a fire. You may be having to keep a fire going in a stove that you don't normally do. You're probably going to be having to pull some security. You're going to be gathering water and doing things that you may not do on a daily basis in your life right now. So to me, everybody should have an emergency pantry in their home with at least 2 weeks of shelf-stable food. And that food should also require the minimum amount of water, and it should be easy to prepare. Again, you may not have electricity, you may not have the grid power to operate your electric stove. The natural gas may be off if you have a gas stove. So you want to be able to cook these meals simply, maybe on a camping stove. I've got several of the little Coleman camping stoves, the 2-burner stoves that use the 1-pound bottles of propane. I've got some of the single burner butane stoves that come in a little carrying case, and they use a bottle of butane that screws into those. They're great for just a 1 burner, just to heat something up. I've also got one of the big that's on legs, the big 2-burner camping stove. And I think the burners on those are like 30,000 BTUs each. We actually use that to can with out on the porch so that we're not heating up the house when we're putting away the garden stuff and canning like that. Those work real good, and I actually got a couple of the 40-pound propane tanks with an adapter to connect to that stove. And if push comes to shove, I do have a travel trailer that we use for camping that has a stove and everything in it that we can use to cook with also. But that's something for you to consider as a way to heat your meals. The thing that I started doing, and again, I got this from Bear Independent. I can't take credit for this. I ain't sure where he got it from, but it's called the 7 meal plan. And so basically what you do, is you just take you a piece of paper and you write you 3 columns across the top: breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then you go down the side and you write Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and Saturday. And then you're going to write out under each one of those meals on that day a simple breakfast, a lunch, and a dinner. Now, after you've got those 7 days, just go ahead and double it up, and you've got your 2 weeks already planned out. Let's see, I think I've got that on a file. Let's see if I can find it and I'll show it to you. The one I came up with. I can find it here. Well, I don't see it. It's probably on my other computer. But anyway, I made a 2-column chart on a 8.5 by 11 piece of paper that's already made up, and you just fill in the blanks. Again, if that's something that you'd like to have a copy of, shoot me an email. I'll be happy to send it to you. But again, you want these foods to be shelf stable. They don't require refrigeration. They don't require a freezer. And just, as an example, for breakfast, you might put oatmeal. And then lunch might be vegetable soup. And under dinner, turkey with gravy, mashed potatoes, and stuffing. And then, like I said, you just keep filling those columns out till you got the entire week, and then just double that. Once you get your 14 days of meals planned out, you need to make you a shopping list and go through the house and check your cabinets, check your pantry, see if you've got the stuff already on hand. And then if you don't, go get what you need so that you've got it on hand, and put that in an emergency pantry, separate from what your kitchen is. The other thing is make sure that it's foods that you and your family will eat or eat on a regular basis. During an emergency, it's definitely the wrong time to be trying to introduce new foods to you and your family. They might not want to eat it. And the dry dog food would, I'd have to be very hungry, I believe, to eat the dry dog food. But, I don't know that I would. Of course, it's hard to say. If you're hungry, you'll probably eat about anything, I guess, if you get hungry enough. But that's the whole reason for having this 2-week emergency pantry, so we don't have to eat the dry dog food, Steve. And Tommy, I'll get to the protein here in just a second. Now, the other thing, once you get that 2-week emergency pantry established, is you want to start rotating that stuff through your kitchen. And don't just get this stuff and put it in the closet somewhere and say, there it is, we're good to go. And 3 years from now, you've got a bunch of rusted up and expired cans of food, or pasta that's got bugs in it, or whatever. Make sure that once you get that established, start moving that stuff through your kitchen and using it on a regular basis. And then go back to the store and purchase what you pulled out to put in the kitchen and put it back in your emergency pantry, and always rotate through that food and keep rotating through it, and that keeps it as fresh as possible. Yes, Susan, a foraging manual would be good. That would definitely be a must. I know I'm not very good on the foraging side of it, and I'd probably try to eat something that's going to make me or somebody sick. And our cats decided that my backdrop here is a good thing to play with right now. But yeah, rotate through your food storage. Too many people make that mistake, and I'm going to fess up to it. I made the same mistake, and I ended up throwing out some stuff that really wasn't no reason to. But it's when I first started, and it's like, oh no, that's our emergency stuff. We don't touch that. Hello, Janet Homestead, where you are. Welcome. Glad you stopped in. But I mentioned the turkey and gravy with mashed potatoes and stuffing. So if you're familiar with them, the Keystone meats are really good. We like them. You'll just have to try them if you haven't and make sure that you do like them. But you just take a can of that Keystone turkey, put it in a cooker, heat it up, add a can of turkey gravy to it, and you've got turkey and gravy. Add 1 package of instant potatoes and a box of stuffing mix and a can of your favorite vegetable, and you've got an entire meal. It's easy to fix. It's basically just heating stuff up. Doesn't take a whole lot of water to prepare it, and it will definitely give you some nutrition and some protein. And we keep the Keystone turkey, the pork. I know some people don't eat pork. That's fine. But we keep the Keystone beef, the pork, and the chicken, and the turkey. And our Walmart has recently started carrying the Keystone ground beef. At least they've got a place on the shelf for it. Every time I go out there and look, there's none on the shelf. It's staying sold out. So I'm going to probably just go ahead and go online and do an online order and get some of that canned ground beef and try it and see if that's something that we like. And if it is something that we like, I'm going to add that into our protein storage. Of course, you always hear preppers talking about Spam. I think that stuff, even though it's got an expiration date on it, I don't know if it ever goes bad. These other brands of canned meats out there, you can get some that's already got gravy in it. You can get it that's already got barbecue sauce in it. You can buy it in the little Mylar packages, like for lunches and stuff. And I do a little bit of all of those. And then once you've got your 2-week pantry in place and your 2 weeks of water storage in place, you might want to expand that. And you might want to go out to build out to where you've got 1 month, and then 3 months, and then 6 months, and then a year. That's an individual choice that everybody is going to have to make on their own. You know, you might feel perfectly comfortable with 2 weeks and that's all you're going to do, and that's fine. You're 2 weeks ahead of about 90% of the population in this country right now by doing that. Hello, Nancy at our treasured home. Welcome. Glad you stopped in. But, you know, just do what you're comfortable with. And the amount of storage space that you've got. You know, some people live in apartments and don't know. You know, they just don't have the room to store a year's worth of food. And I can understand that. And later on, we may talk again about food storage and get into some of what I call long-term food storage. Kind of what I'm talking about right now is short-term, and short-term to me is anywhere from 2 weeks to 1 year. About anything that you buy on the grocery store, as far as canned items, has got at least a 2-year shelf life. So you want to, like I said, you can buy that, rotate it out, and it should never get to 2 years old. Later on, you may want to get into storing rice and beans and corn and wheat, your grains, in 5-gallon buckets with Mylar bags and oxygen absorbers. That's definitely something we can talk about later on if that's something people want to hear, and we can go through that. The other thing you might want to put with that 2-week emergency storage is some candy, some special treats, especially if you've got young children. You know, they're already going to be going through a stressful situation, and, you know, giving them a little treat of candy or a candy bar or something, you know, that they like, it's kind of their favorite hard candy, can mean a whole lot to them. So, like I said, I've talked about that short term and long term. The other thing I want to talk about real quick, and I'm about to run out of time here. This will take longer than I thought. But a lot of people like the freeze-dried emergency foods that you can buy in these buckets. I'm trying to turn that where the light will get off of it. And the freeze-dried meals, some of them are really good and some of them are really bad, in my opinion. So before you go out and buy a bunch of this freeze-dried foods, get you a sample package or buy just an individual package and try it. Make sure that it's something that you and your family is going to eat and that you like. These emergency buckets like this, if you can see there, it says this is a 48-hour supply for 4 people. And it says on the front label, this contains 10,910 total calories. But then you go on the back and you start reading the ingredient list and the serving sizes. And that's the thing about these freeze-dried emergency meals, is very small portions and very low calorie counts. This contains buttermilk pancakes. 1/3 of a cup is a serving size, 160 calories. Maple and brown sugar oatmeal, 1/4 of a cup is a serving size, 120 calories. It's got 2 packages of elbow macaroni, 1/3 of a cup, 160 calories. It's got a package of cheese powder to make macaroni and cheese with. 2 tablespoons is a serving size, 50 calories. Creamy chicken flavored rice, 1/3 of a cup, 240 calories. And creamy potato soup, 1/3 of a cup, 220 calories. Now you add all that up and that comes to 950 calories for a day for one person. That's about 2,000 calories short, in my opinion. So you want to watch about some of these emergency meal kits and their advertised values. There's some out there that are really good, and there's some out there that are not very good. I've tried the Wise, didn't like it at all. And you buy that stuff and it's mostly soups. As Zombie mentioned earlier about protein, there ain't no protein in this bucket. And these are fairly expensive for what you're getting. So to me, you're better off, especially getting started, to just buy canned foods and stuff that you normally eat that you can keep on a shelf and rotate it through to keep for your family. Yeah, Zombie mentioned the freeze dryer. I had an opportunity to buy one at a really good price, and I'm kind of kicking myself for not doing it. But just to be honest, I wasn't for sure how much we would actually use it. We do a lot of canning, and that stuff will keep a long time on the shelf if you can it properly and follow the ball book and do things the right way. And yeah, Susan mentioned beans and rice. You mix those together and that comes out. That's a good, stable protein source. and you get a lot of calories in a small amount. I've started using some of the aftershock preparedness meals. Yeah, there's a link on my channel. They're local to me, and they've got really good stuff, and it's got really good calorie counts, and it has a lot of protein in it. Just something else to consider. But again, that's stuff you need to try for yourself and see what you like and what you don't like. I can't, like I said, I can't tell you. Do your own research, do your own tests. And that's the thing, like I was talking about with these freeze-dried meals. Get one package of it and try it and see if it's something you and your family's going to eat. Don't go out and pay $200 for one of these buckets that's got a 2-week supply in it for your family and realize that it's something that you just ain't going to eat. It just tastes bad. It ain't nothing but soup. There's no proteins in it. The other thing I would recommend everybody keep for their food storage too is some multivitamins. 1-a-day vitamins. You may not be getting the vitamins that you would normally get with what your daily diet is in an emergency. So you might want to have some vitamins on hand to take. But I've already went an hour. Is there any questions that I missed? If I did, I'm sorry I missed them. I was trying to talk about what I was trying to get. Throw them back up in the comments again. If you haven't done so, please hit that like button. If you're not subscribed, I would truly appreciate it if you did. So with that being said, is there any questions? Any comments? Steve, if you're going live later on tonight, if you've got your link handy, put it in the chat there so maybe people can come up and watch your live. Ain't no problem, Eddie. I am going to try to start doing this every Wednesday night at 7 o'clock Eastern time. So we'll try to make this a regular occurrence. This was kind of the night that I kind of picked for a lot of the channels that I follow and try to support is not doing a live. I don't want to step on nobody's toes. Appreciate it. And Zombie, anytime that me and you can get together and come up together and talk about prepping, let me know, and we'll definitely set that up and schedule that. Let's see. Now, there's my StreamYard chat. I don't care to keep going. If anybody wants to come up, I'll try to learn how to do that and bring you up on panel. And we can definitely do some more talking. And I see Eddie, so we'll add Eddie. Hello, Eddie.
Hey, Gary. See, it's easy as that. As far as now, here's the thing. If you don't have very many people in chat and you want to drop it for like Zombie Prepper to come up, because Zombie's a good knowledge as well, but that's how you would do it. I mean, and I understand, do the most of the show by yourself, talk about what you want to talk about, and maybe the last 10, 15 minutes or whatever. If you want to drop the link for anybody to have any questions, come up and ask you or ask the chat or whatever, there you go. But otherwise, if you want to have a special guest like Zombie Prepper or something, get his email, click on that link, and instead of pasting it in chat, just send it to him in email. That way only you and him can be up here.
Right. Me and Robert had actually talked about doing this before, and then, of course, he had some issues there with his channel, and we never did.
I love Robert.
Me and him actually talked about it in after hours one night on after one of his lives, and then we didn't like I said, he had some problems there and we didn't get to do it. And that's why while he was in here, I mentioned it to him again that we could try to do that sometime. And anybody else out there, I mean, if you want to get with me some night, be mine live or your live or whatever, just let me know. I'm still trying to learn how to do this. This is probably, I guess, officially my second live that I've ever done. I think I did a little better tonight than I did the last time, so it'll get better.
Yeah, your cats are wondering what you're doing down there in the corner. There was an orange one. Now there's a Chinese looking one.
Yeah, my wife has two of them. They decided that this little backdrop I put up to hide the ugly room behind me is a good plaything for them now. It's something new. I've always heard about curiosity killed a cat. These is the two nosiest cats I've ever seen in my life. Whatever I bring in this house, new or strange or different to them, they come right then and have to look at it. Hey, what you got? But yeah, I just wanted to treat everybody coming in tonight. And like I said, this is something I want to do on a regular occasion. That's the other thing. You know, I've got people from the homesteading community, people from the prepping community, people from the trapping community. So I'm going to try to mix it up some and see if we can't talk about something for everybody and not just.
I like how you link those two together, and you did a freaking awesome job and stuff about talking about a topic or some topics and sticking to it and everything else. See, mine's just chaos a lot of times. It's whatever whoever wants to talk about. But I don't think I'll freaking talk so fast or something. Even if I have something to say, I'll run through it and then I'm done with it. And I'm like, okay, what do I do now? You know, I mean, people have different talents and different skills. And that's one of the things that I try to tell people on YouTube about, you know, their channel and about monetization is there's no right way to do it. Okay. Just because it works great for one person does not mean it's going to work great for you, because we have different skill sets and stuff. I have me and Gary, Bellloop 29, Gary, has we're type A personalities. We can talk to anybody. We can just talk. And that's our strong point, you know? But like somebody that's like my wife, Jamie, who's not a type A personality, that hates crowds, that don't like talking to people unless they're their friends. If she got up here and tried to do the same thing as me, it wouldn't work for her. So that's what I'm saying. Find your own path. Do what works for you. Do what feels comfortable and natural. And that's what's going to make you successful on YouTube.
Right. That's the other thing. I mean, they ain't none of these big channels out there. You know, I mentioned Bear Independent. He's got over 100,000 subscribers now, you know. Deep South Homestead probably got 200 and some thousand or more. But none of them started out that way. You know, they all started just like everybody else did. You know, they had one subscriber. Then they got 2, then they got 10, and then they got 50, and it just growed, and they got better going as they did it more.
The thing is, though, is you will have to do lives, because lives is where you get the hours, the watch hours, and everything else. Now, once you're live, or once you got that monetization, all it requires is to stay active on YouTube. So you may want to do a live here and there or whatever, but I don't think, as long as you're posting content, you don't really have to do lives once you're monetized. But lives is what
doing 2 to 3 videos a week a lot of times, which, you know, they're 8 to 10 minute videos. I think people are more inclined to watch a 10-minute video or 8-minute video than a 30-minute video.
Yeah, that's correct.
There's some subjects you can't do a 8-minute video on. So, you know, it is going to have to go longer. And now that I'm starting to do lives, I'm probably going to do one regular content video and probably a live a week.
Yeah.
And there's some things that I want to do in videos that really you can't do on a live. And I mean, this content's going to be out there. People can go back and watch this live, but I'm probably going to sit down and break this down into a good video. And cover the water on one thing and the food on another.
You know, and something else is like with me, I can't do what you do. I can't. I never have been able to. If you watch all my lives, I've never done a solo live, because there's another guy, Jay, American Expat, who he can do that too. He sits down for 30 minutes or an hour, and it's just him up on screen. I can't talk to a camera for 30 minutes an hour by myself. I can't do it. I'm just not that type. I'm more of a conversationalist person, but some people are great at just talking. I've watched your videos and stuff. You can do it freaking easy, and you bring a wealth of knowledge and everything else where I have problems doing that. But anyways,
well, I mean, I'll go ahead and admit it. I cheat a whole lot too. I mean, I've got a tablet sitting here right now with notes on it.
Well, and that's fine. Yeah.
A lot of my videos, and it's probably obvious to people that know, but I'm using a teleprompter because I can just sit down and remember all those details and put it in words that people's going to understand without sounding like a total idiot a lot of times. And even using a teleprompter and stuff, I still have to edit out a lot of mistakes, but that's part of it.
Yeah. But see, I don't know if I could do that. I'm going to have to get more into that once I do the stuff that I need to do.
And, a lot of the stuff, I'm a basic and advanced first aid instructor, but, that's just stuff you can't really do on a live.
Yeah.
Might be more, I can do some videos on that maybe. But even then, I mean, that's stuff that people need to go do in person. And I mentioned the water buffaloes. Did you ever get to drink that good fine chlorine tasting water out of one of them water tanks out of your canteen?
Nope. I have a question though.
Go ahead.
On your first aid and stuff, are you an instructor? I mean, you certified? You certified or you instructor?
Both. Okay, well, I'm actually a licensed EMT.
Okay. Here's the question I have for you. Is there some stuff that you could show or teach as far as on camera or making a video of it, like life-saving, how to apply a turn? I mean, in the Marine Corps, we went through first aid and everything else.
Right.
But like, I know in your bug out bag, also in your go home bag and stuff like that, in any of your kits, you have stop bleed and stuff like that. So you may want to make some videos on each freaking thing and it don't have to be gory or graphic, just get, a prosthetic or just make a prosthetic arm or leg or whatever.
Well, see, I've got a half body mannequin with one arm on it.
Yeah, there you go. And just like demonstrate
to teach stop the bleed classes with.
Yeah, exactly. Just do something like that where in an you're not certifying them or anything else, right. But it's good knowledge for them to know in case they are out in the bush or whatever and cut themselves and have to do a self tourniquet. Maybe they're by themselves or, whatever. The proper way to do it until they can reach emergency medical aid or whatever. I mean, that's just ideas, of emergency care.
And that's something that I've been planning on doing in the future. Especially as the weather changes and it's too cold to go outside and do videos out at a campsite, I can definitely set up something and do it in my little studio I've got built.
Yeah.
And set that mannequin up on a table and show you, how to pack a wound, how to apply a tourniquet, how to apply a pressure dressing, how to make a pressure dressing that's as good as an Israeli bandage, but don't cost you $10.
Yeah.
That'll cost you $2. That's stuff that I teach when I teach first aid. Taking an ace wrap and a 4x4 gauze and making a pressure bandage. That's as good as any Israeli bandage that you'll buy for $10. I have the Israeli bandages, and one of my videos that I've got planned, I'm going to stir up some controversy with, I'm pretty sure. But, the first thing everybody wants to run out and buy is one of these blowout kits that's got a decompression needle in it. They ain't got a clue how to use, got no business trying to use it. It's got chest seals. It's got an Israeli bandage and a tourniquet. And they think, I'm good. I've got a first aid kit. Okay, well, little Johnny's got diarrhea now because he drank some dirty water outside. Now, how are you going to treat little Johnny with that blowout kit that you spent $200 on?
Well, little Johnny blew out his underwear, so.
You need to have some basic first aid supplies on home to treat common injuries and stuff, and a lot of that in place.
Yeah, I seen in your go home kit or whatever, you had Imodium in there. You had a bunch of, just regular medicine that people don't think they'll need. And actually, my wife carries a little packet of all kinds of ibuprofen, Advil, sinus stuff, Imodium in a little freaking container, and she's labeled them all. But if we're out somewhere, we got it.
Yeah, I keep it in my vehicles. I've got it in my bags. I've got it in my desk drawer at work. I mean, and it's amazing that the number of people at work that know that I've got that stuff for all time. Hey, man, you ain't got no Tylenol, do you? Or, you got Motrin, or you got some sinus medicine. Yeah, here you go. I'll hook you up.
Dr. Gary.
but yeah, I'm definitely going to continue with the lives. And my intentions tonight was actually to go about 40 minutes and then see if anybody wanted to come up. But I looked up and it was an hour. It's like, oh. So I probably had more information than what I should have been trying to do, but I was trying to fill an hour too. So
the thing is,
nothing to talk about.
The thing is too, is make sure before you open the panel to anybody, make sure that you got all the points or whatever you want to discuss out the way, because when you get people up on panel, there's no telling of what direction they're going to take it or try to take it or whatever. It may go from prepping to bushcrafting or prepping to, gardening or whatever. So do not ever invite Gary Belu 29 up on panel, because you have no clue. You may even end up with a duck race or something on your channel. Sorry, Gary, if you're watching.
And you may know the answer to that question. I've been going to ask him where he gets that stuff from.
He's bought it. It's an application or whatever, but it's real cheap. It's only like $1 or $2 per year or something like that, I believe. But here's the thing. And Gary, if you're listening, I'm sorry, but this is my beliefs, my opinions. I have nothing wrong with the duck races or whatever, if it's like a giveaway. But to run the races just for bragging rights, race after race after race, to me, that's like, I'd rather sit up on panel and talk to somebody or BS with them than to watch a duck race for nothing, for bragging rights or whatever, especially when you run 15 of them, There ain't no bragging rights in that. 15 people is bragging that they won or whatever. But that's my opinion. As far as, I'm sorry, go ahead.
Doing a duck race or pogo sticks or whatever, some night as a giveaway.
Yeah, that's understandable.
A week ahead of time, hey, better come in with my live Wednesday night because I'm going to be giving away a cat tourniquet.
Yeah, that's understandable.
The live say anybody that wants to be entered in this duck race, you better type a 1 in the comments, and I'll add your name, and we'll run this race for 2 minutes or whatever. And the winner's going to get a cat tourniquet. They just send me their email, and because I've got that wheel of names, that's free. But that's a 5-second spin, and it's over with.
Yeah, let me see. I'm pretty sure I know the site on that. I can log on to Gary's at any time. I can log on to Gary's anytime.
Yeah, I think he's working tonight, ain't he?
Yeah, he is. He's at work. I've already talked to him some. I believe it's right here. Yeah, race timers. I want to watch that close. Yep, that's it. If you look up internet timers, it has that website, and you can let me.
Oh, it says in up.
There you go. It's in private chat for you right now.
Okay. But yeah, I was just thinking of some way, to do a giveaway, but make it a little more interesting, a little more fun than just spinning a wheel sometime and picking a name that way. And
actually, I just logged into Gary's right now. We could do a race right now. That's funny. Okay, guys, there's 4 people, 5 people in here. Well, we'll see how many's in here. Let's do this. Hold on a second. I'll send you something, a Devil Dog sticker or magnet or something. I don't know. I got to talk to Jamie.
I've got all kinds of channel stickers here. If somebody wants to
But what we'll do is we'll do this real quick. I don't think it'll share audio. Nope, won't. I don't know what my thing. Oh, but I can go over here and share desktop audio, and then they should be able to hear it.
Let's see.
Screen, entire screen. And even if you give away something little, no, you don't need to bigify me.
Okay.
Bring up my screen right there that I shared. Okay, see, there we go. And this is that site that I sent you, but you got to log in. But I'm logged in on Gary's. So what kind of race you want to do? You want to do rockets, pogo sticks? What kind of race you want to do?
Let's do some pogo sticks for a minute.
Right here. Okay, here we go.
And if anybody out there is in here right now, you want to get in a pogo race for one of my channel stickers, just type a one or in the chat there, and we'll get the names added in there.
In names, edit list. We don't know these people. That was already pre-done. So there we go.
And everybody might have left, so. Oh, Janet's still here.
Okay.
Yep, Janet's wanting to. Go ahead and put me and you in there. That'll be 3. I don't know that Susan's still here.
All right. We got 3 people. I was just showing you how it was done, though.
Right.
And it's on that site, and this is Gary's, because you gotta. I think it's only $1 or $2. I could actually call Gary and find out, but
yeah, I'll look it up, and that ain't no big deal. That's which if I understood that right when I was playing around in StreamYard earlier, nobody can't co-stream off of mine because I've just got the free plan.
Correct. Yeah, correct. They'd be like, you'd have to have at least a $10 plan for them to co-stream.
So that might be a good thing for now, anyway.
Name your timer. Let's see. Let's do. But see, you see, it's easy to do.
Right.
You just
I've watched Gary do it.
Yeah.
So much, and like I said, I just thought, that is a better way of doing a giveaway during a live.
Exactly. Yeah, that's fine. And that plus you can talk as it's going or whatever. It's just racing for no reason whatsoever. I don't see the point in it. Now let's find out how to race. Let's go update, save. Yes. Let's see if that works. Because this is the first time I've done it. Okay. Okay, there we go. You just click set again. And there we go. We're going to have a 3-person race, it looks like. Now, I do want you to tell me if you can hear the sound, because I think it'll go through my, I don't know if it sounds over here, but we'll see if it goes. Okay, now, see, it has Gary's YouTube police there.
Yeah.
Where he put that on there. Okay, now, right there, start. Okay.
Yeah, he's probably freaking out if he's scrolling through YouTube right now. Like, what am I doing on?
Shuffle. We'll put. Oh wait, I'm on the wrong screen. That's why. Put Janet in the middle. There we go. All right, now we're gonna start it. You can hear that, right?
I don't hear any audio.
You don't hear the music?
No, just you talking.
Huh.
So
I don't know. I got the desktop audio on. Weird.
But I know usually watching these races, Janet started out on fire, so she's probably going to fall behind here real quick.
Yeah, it's stupid the way they do that, though. I mean, even if you start out on fire, and I'm in last, so I'll probably win. Yeah. Even if you start out strong, you should still have a chance of winning. They don't do that. If you start out losing or winning, you end up losing. Yeah, here I come.
Yep.
Look at that. What'd I tell you?
And you should have my sticker. Unless Jamie didn't give you one of them.
Yeah,
But Jamie,
that's how.
for you even participating, if you'll send me an email at kentucky555@gmail.com, I will be happy to send you a channel sticker.
I probably have your sticker. Probably. Wait a minute. When did you send it to me, Gary?
Well, I sent you
Oh
some
wait,
smaller ones that you
Jamie.
probably haven't
Hey,
got a mail call on yet.
Jamie made them, didn't she?
Right. And then I got
your
new
sticker.
ones made that Jamie made that was
Yeah,
big.
I got your sticker. Probably up here with all the other ones. Let me look. I know it is. I know I got it. I know it's up here probably.
We went from a 2-inch to a 3-inch sticker, and then we added that prepare today for what may happen tomorrow around the outside.
Yeah, I actually did that.
And I've got 2 big shows coming up that I'm going to be attending.
Well, why don't we do this? Why don't I gift that to Janet? Does she have your sticker?
I don't think so. I think she just subscribed maybe today, to be honest with you.
Nancy, you're a little bit late.
And Nancy, send me your email, and I'll be happy to send you and Anastasia some of my stickers. KentuckyPrepper5@gmail.com.
And Janet, will you send him your email or your address so he can send you one? Yeah, it's right here.
Yep. But I'd say after this show in November, I ordered, I think, 200 the last time. I'll probably be ordering about 200 more before that show in March. They're doing a humongous show here in Eastern Kentucky in March. Anybody that's into the bushcrafting, watching bushcrafting videos or prepping videos, Sean Kelly, who was a Marine corporal that's got Corporal's Corner with 1.1 million YouTube subscribers, is going to be at both of these shows.
Holy cow.
In November and in March. The one in March, like I said, Corporal's Corner is going to be there. Buckeye Bushcraft is going to be there. Blackie Thomas is going to be there. The biggest names in YouTube bushcrafting is all going to be at this show. Jason Hunt from Camp Creek Outdoors that I talked about, I've got some of his wax gear and stuff that he makes, is going to be at both shows. All kinds of just big time people. They're going to have a 3-day event, and they're going to have an actual bushcraft camp set up outside where you can go and take classes and learn from these guys. I'm going to be teaching a class on bug out bags.
That's awesome.
So I'll probably be needing a whole lot more stickers by then, hopefully.
Hey, you does that Marine Corps, does that corporal, does he know you?
No.
You gonna meet him?
Yeah. I will be meeting him in November at the November gun show, which is a gun outdoor sportsman show. And then the show in March is a preparedness, homesteading, and bushcraft show.
Well, make sure you mention me to him, man. I love following Marines. And actually, if you hold on. I don't follow any big channels. Honestly, I do not follow any big channels.
Yeah, some of these channels I follow them because I'm trying to learn some of the stuff that they're doing.
But if he's a Marine, that's a different story. I follow all Marines that I run across.
Yeah, I'm pretty 99.9% sure that he was a corporal in the Marines because his rank on his sticker or on his channel stuff, doesn't look like Army.
What's his channel name?
Corporal's Corner. He was one of Dave Canterbury's instructors at one time. And of course, about all these guys that's coming to this show was
welcome to my yeah, he has 1.06 million subscribers. Welcome to Corporal's Corner. My channel combines bushcraft, survival, and the love of the outdoors all into one. I deliver no BS.
Yeah.
Videos,
now,
shelter, fire, water, food, and tools.
The thing about him, and I don't know why so many people disagree with you on this, Eddie, but I'm one that does agree with you. And Sean Kelly, his channel, he'll definitely agree with you because he talks about it in about every video. And I mean, I love it. You know, somebody stops in and hits a thumbs up and leaves me a comment, that's great. But the thing is, if I've got a 10-minute video and one person watches it for 10 minutes and one person watches it for 30 seconds and hits like and great video, my overall watch time just went from 10 minutes to less than 5.
Yep.
And
it hurts. It hurts your stuff. Yeah.
But, you know, I know that that last video I did, you was talking about the get home bag. That's had over 1,000 views. It's a 10-minute video. The average watch time is 3 minutes.
Yep, exactly. Well, see, here's the thing. Honestly, I will be honest. I've watched a lot of your videos all the way through, but I ran your playlist to get you watch hours, which I haven't commented on a lot of them.
Right.
But see, running your playlist ups your watch time as well.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
You know, and Sean Kelly there, the Corporal's Corner I was talking about, he's all the time, about every video, he's complaining about people. You know, I've got 1 million subscribers, but, you know, 20,000 people watch the video, but, you know, 20,000 out of them, you know, half of them just watch 30 seconds of it.
Exactly. They click on it long enough to comment and leave. Yep, exactly. I agree with him totally. Because that's the thing. I would rather someone not comment on my video and not even click on it or go there if you're not going to watch it. Now, if you click on it,
if it was your live or Gary's live, but they was a big discussion about that one night, and everybody's like, no, Eddie, you're wrong. And I'm sitting there, guys, it's simple math.
Yep, exactly.
If it's 10 minutes and 2 people watch it and one watches it for 10 minutes and one watches it for 1 minute, the average watch time is 5 minutes.
Yeah.
It gets cut in half.
And it does hurt your analytics. And here's the reason why. I have watched a video from a big YouTuber. And the thing is if you put out a video and say it's a 10-minute video, if your watch time on that video, if everybody watches it for like 80, 90, 100% of the time, if that's what your watch time is, YouTube's going to see that, hey, this is a great video. So for people that maybe have stuff in common, say it's, you know, prepping, okay? So if somebody watches your stuff and follows you, or the prepping community follows you, it's going to put it when you first open up YouTube and you have these recommended videos, it's going to highlight you because your watch time, the video and the watch time and everything else is real high. If you put out that same 10-minute video and you have less than a minute watch time on it, YouTube is not going to share it out because they're going to say nobody's watching this video. It's obviously crap, so we're not going to share it out to any other YouTubers. That's how the YouTube algorithm works.
You know how I know a video does good, Eddie? The way I find out real quick if one of my videos is doing good.
Uh-huh.
YouTube will recommend my own video to me. I just put a 30-second short out today, and 5 minutes ago, it got recommended to me. Just got the notification. You need to watch this. Robert, I just put the link or the StreamYard in if you want to come up. Boy, you're more than welcome.
Let me show you this. Okay, it is way up there. I don't even see it no more, I don't think. Hold on. So maybe it's up there, but it's not highlighted. So if you drop that link again, do you have your YouTube side open as well, or just StreamYard?
Both.
Okay, good. Once you drop that link again, there you go. Yeah, you put it up there, right there. Okay, now go over to your StreamYard side. I mean, not your StreamYard, your YouTube side. And you see the 3 dots out to the right of your comment there where you did it? Yep. Click on that and click pin. P-I-N. Hey, County Line Adventures, how you doing?
I don't see pin.
On the YouTube side.
Yeah, right across from chat, there's 3 dots.
Yep, click on that, and it'll. Well, mine because
mine says participants toggle moderator activity.
No. No, that's at the top. Go to your actual comment that you just typed in chat, where it shows in chat.
Hey, County Line Adventures. Pin message.
Yep, there you go. And see, now it'll pop up at the top. So if anybody comes in, now obviously you don't want to do that when you first start the show, but if you do open the panel at the end for people to come up. They'll see that link, they'll click on it, and listen for the beep, because they'll pop up in your basement, and I believe you have that beep on, to where it kind of brings your attention to, hey, somebody just come in studio. I gotta raise them up to the panel from the basement. If that makes sense.
Right.
Hey, that would be cool if Corporal's Corner come in your live one time.
Well, I'm just hoping. I'm just hoping
definitely
that he'll feel sorry for me enough that when I talk to him over there in November, that he'll be on his video. I mean, if he would just say, hey, go check out Kentucky Prepper 5, this guy's putting out some great videos. Okay. I'm going to jump 10,000 subscribers.
I want to tell you a story. There's a friend of mine, okay, that I've been trying to help, that I was trying to help forever. And I guess when he started YouTube, or back in the day, he used to hang out with this guy or was a member of their community and everything else. And the guy was a so-called friend of his. Well, this guy hit it big. Okay. He's got 100,000 or more plus 100,000 plus. I know it's in the 100,000s, maybe even million subscribers. And this person was talking, and somebody else was talking good about this larger channel. And so I'm like, let me check this person out. So I went over there, I looked at his channel, and his email address was there. So I sent an email to him. I said, hey, I'm a new subscriber. I'm like, this person that's your friend or whatever was talking nothing but good stuff about you and everything else. And he's trying to get his subscribers up and stuff. I'm like, I don't remember how I phrased it. I'm like, but hey, could you do a shout out for him or something like that? Well, he emailed me back, and I'll even read the email. Hold on a minute, if you don't mind or anything.
Oh, that's fine.
Okay, give me 1 second. I'm gonna try to keep the names out of it and stuff. But okay, I said you may want to check out this channel. On his Sunday live pop-up goes I joined your channel because of him and someone else at so-and-so channel was saying nothing but good things about you. You may want to look at everything he was saying about you. I have been doing a show with him. I have been trying to get him up to 1K and also the watch hours. He has went up about 300 to 400 subscribers since we have started, and went from under 200 watch hours to over 1,300, I think. You do not have to do this, but I think it would be cool if you kind of helped him out since you are a larger channel. You're not required to, and I'm not going to give you a hard time if you don't. I am just making you aware. I look forward to seeing some of your content. He responded to me. I have known this person for many, many years. Used to hang out with him on a different channel. All my creator friends know that I do not use my main channel to hang out with creators. That is a mistake if creators are not your target market. I have never asked anyone to go check out my channel. I have depended on organic traffic, people who find it because they are looking to do something. Asking people to help is not sustainable. I know you are being nice, and that is very noble of you. So-and-so is a great guy. I just don't operate like that. YouTube is a long game of providing people with valuable, not creators supporting each other. Just my opinion, but that's how I run my business. If I pop in to say hello or hi to so-and-so, it is another profile that you probably don't know it's me, but so-and-so remembers. That was his response. Now, here's the thing. Even a large channel, okay, even if you don't do it normally or anything else, if you're trying to, what is it going to do? What harm is it going to do to say, hey, guys, I have a friend, and he's been working at this a long time. He needs a little bit of help or whatever. Why don't you, you don't have to, but hey, go check him out. That's all you got to say. That's all you got to say. It's not going to hurt you or your business or anything else. But to me, that's an uppity piece of crap that's just worried about himself. And it's not like he has to do it all the time. But if you've known this guy for many, many years, why wouldn't you want to just pop a quick plug in there to say, hey, go check out this guy's channel. He's a friend of mine. I'm trying to help him out. That's it.
See, he done that for Buckeye Bushcraft.
Yeah.
His channel, he was just getting it started, which they worked together. They were instructors together. They know each other real well. But he mentioned on one of his videos, hey, you know, Jake started a channel now and he's putting out some good stuff. Well, he jumped
Hey,
to
Gary.
10,000 subscribers like that.
You went up. You went from 4 people to 9 people now.
Robert, come back in, County Line Adventures and County Line. Type 45 in the chat, and Nightbot will drop your link to your channel. He's one of the trapping community, and not just trapping, but he does a lot of stuff with his kids. They go out and do a lot of sightseeing and tours and visit places, and they film all this and put it on their channel. And they're real good people. Yeah. And Zombie, I don't know, he came back in and then got quiet again. So,
well, you know what? You may get a few more because I just shared you out. I should have shared you out earlier, and then you may have had 15 people in here.
but
that's
you know,
what it is. Whenever,
I look at it, these large channels,
real quick,
he's got 1 million subscribers. Now, I'm trying to get some people from the bushcraft community.
Yeah.
Well, they're probably not seeing my content because it's not being recommended to them on YouTube right now because my channel's small. But if he says, well, you know, go check out this channel, and if 500 people out of his million go look at my channel and say, wait a minute, yeah, that guy's got some good videos, I'm going to subscribe and start watching his stuff. I mean, you know, I don't see it that they've got anything to lose. I definitely don't have anything to lose, but only to gain by somebody doing that.
Yeah. Joe, Nightbot sleeping. Type 45 again. I don't know why it didn't drop it in there. I know it's working.
Yeah, it was working earlier.
Yeah. But here's the thing. Whenever you start a live, whenever you get 5-10 people in here, ask them to share it out because it's not going to hurt them share it out. And then if they're no, hold on. Zombie's dropping links now. Zombie, you're not Nightbot, brother.
Yeah, now that's a question I have. Where are they pulling that link from to drop it? Are they going to that channel?
They go to the channel. If you're a mod, if you're a mod like me and Zombie and stuff, those 3 dots where you pin their link, all they got to do. That's why in my channel I make everybody. Yeah, it goes to their channel and then they'll copy the link, come back and post it in there. So there it goes. Now Nightbot's working. What do you know? See, sometimes Nightbot falls asleep, but it worked.
I know the other night I was trying to help one of my trapping buddies. He was trying to do a live and he was trying to do everything and trying to talk, and he wanted me to come up and help him. But the problem was he was on a phone. So he was doing it through YouTube on a mobile device. Well, he sent me the link. I tried to go into it, but it wouldn't let me in because I wasn't on a mobile device. But there was people coming into the chat and stuff, and I was trying to figure out, I was trying to interact with them, and I was like, well, I wish I know how to drop these people's links. I'd start dropping these channels links, but I didn't know where they was getting them from.
Yeah, they just click. If you're a mod on a channel, the same 3 dots that you clicked on to pin it, you press go to channel, you go over there, copy it, and then come back over here and paste it.
Okay.
They should make it a lot. They should make it a lot easier, but they don't. So,
because I know a lot of times you can kind of see some people that really ain't got no business being in the chat or in your live stream, and when I see them making certain comments, I'll go to their channel and see who they are. And, they usually have, 1 subscriber and no content.
Yeah, those are the trolls. And see, that's why you have your mods like me and Zombie or whatever else is to block them people. Because here's the thing. In my opinion, I would rather my mods watch for the trolls and everything and immediately block them, remove them, ban them, stuff like that. Instead of, and here's another thing with the mods, if the mods are constantly dropping links, how much are they really paying attention to you and what you're saying? It detracts from that because they're going to their channel, they're copying links, they're coming back and pasting links, especially if you have a whole bunch of people. And so when it's a small thing and there's not very many people in there or coming in, then it's one thing. They can still catch but when you have 40, 50 people and you're trying to go and drop 40, 50 links and stuff like that, It's detracting from the conversation that they can be adding to your live or listening to what you're saying and stuff like that. I'm not talking about that, Robert. But you see what I'm saying, right? They can be more involved in reading chat. When they're reading chat, they can see if there's any trolls or anything else that needs to be timed out or blocked or whatever else.
Yeah, and what I said when I started this live tonight, before I even started doing over any of the content, I just told people, the only way you're going to get a blue wrench from me is if I've interacted with you at one time on your channel, or you've interacted with me. I kind of know you a little bit.
Yeah,
I'll be happy to make those people moderators because I know them. But
yeah, exactly.
If you're going to lurk in the background and not come up and interact with people, then why would I want to make you a moderator?
Yeah.
And as I go along, I might change that, but I don't know if that helps to keep some of the trolls out by not giving everybody a blue wrench. I don't know. I ain't big enough to attract the trolls yet, I don't think.
What I do want to recommend to you though, is like when you start live and you get 5 or 10 people in here, when you start it up, ask people to share out the live, because other people may be connected to them, may check out their community tab and see where they're at, what they're recommended. So you may get people come in here that you don't know and that don't know you, but because they know somebody that's in here that you know, and then they subscribe to you. You see what I'm saying? So it'll help build your audience and stuff and your subscribers and everything that way as well.
And I'm sure they're coming on these lives. I've got that 1 or 2 smart ass comments out there on some of my videos.
Yeah, that's true, County Line.
I had one guy that commented. He said, "Well, you're so fat, you out of breath, you can't even talk, and you're going to pack that bag, and you can't do nothing." So I went and looked at his channel. No subscribers, no videos. And I went back and I said, "Cool story, bro. Be sure and tag me when you post a video. I'll be waiting here breathlessly to learn from all your vast wealth of knowledge." I gained 5 subscribers off that comment to him. That's the ones that leave the dirty comments or the smart comments. They ain't got no videos out there. And which the thing is, what they don't realize, I think a lot of times, hey, you left that comment, all that did was drive this video up that much more with YouTube.
Yeah. Well, hello, Brandy. How you doing?
Hello. I'm going to assume Brandy because it says Brandy here at Pafford Homestead. And people forgive me. There is a lot of names that I do not know yet. I'm trying to learn them.
That's my neighbor. That's Pafford Homestead. They live right outside. They live about 5 minutes from me or whatever. And that's Charlie and Brandy. And they have their little daughter that they're adopting, Autumn. I hope Charlie's doing okay, Brandy.
That's like County Line Adventures. I haven't seen him in so long. I can't remember his name to save my life.
Well, my wife don't remember a lot of people's names. She'll always ask me, "What's his name? What's his name?"
And a lot of these people I met on Sundays at 2:00, Georgia Trapping and Fishing used to do a live. And a lot of the Homestead people come to his channel. That's where I met a lot of people from. That's where I met Shirley from, just doing her best.
Yeah. I love Shirley. I love her to death.
And he hasn't done no lives here lately. I don't know if he, like
Andrew.
everybody else, busy, I guess.
County Line Adventures name's Andrew.
Andrew, yep.
Yeah, he also said that the more trapping videos you do, the more death threats and crap will come. Shaking my head. That's because you got a lot of people that's animal activists or PETA or whatever else. So they're trying, I don't know what they're.
Yeah, Andrew, I just try my best to ignore them. I don't delete their comment unless it's something out of line. Then hey, it's my channel. I'll just delete you and block you, and you won't be back on my channel again. And people just don't understand that don't have to deal with it. I mean, just how much damage these dead burn coyotes are doing.
Yeah. Well, hogs do the same thing. Here in Texas, we have a lot of wild hogs and everything. So, and there's no hunting season for hogs. You can go kill a wild hog 365 days a year,
And
because they root up everything else.
well, I guess 3 years ago now, my brother-in-law was a colonel in the military, stationed at the Pentagon. Got a brain tumor, aggressive brain cancer, same thing John McCain had, that neoblastoma or whatever they call it. He ended up passing away. My sister called me and said, "Hey, he had all this trapping stuff, and I didn't even know he trapped, which he hadn't in years. But he had all this trapping stuff. He wanted you to have it. If you want it, come and get it." I'm like, "Well, I'll just come up and stay with you 3 or 4 days." You know, they lived in Fredericksburg, Virginia, and I went up there and I thought, well, I'll get a box of stuff and I'll throw it in the back of my truck and that'll be it. And I hauled a full size Chevrolet pickup bed full back home with me, and that's something I'd been wanting to do anyway. So I started watching YouTube videos and going to trappers meets and whatever. And my wife, as you've seen, she got 2 cats running around here in the house. I call her Ellie Mae. She's a critter lover. She's not. At one time, she probably had 14 cats running around outside. Well, 5 of them got gone. And my son was in, and he works from 4 in the evening to 4 in the morning. That's his normal shift.
Yeah, so my son works from 6.
And he was out on the front porch smoking and watched a cow run one of her cats right through the yard. So I started trapping them that fall. And
yeah,
she was all for it. "Oh, they're killing my cats. Yeah, them things has got to go."
Yeah.
Well, I had caught 2 that day. Had them in the back of my side by side. I come in and she's like, "Well, you're just like a kid at Christmas. You're happy as you can be to catch cows." And I said, "It's fun. I like this." She said, "Well, don't you think you ought to quit?" I said, "Why?" She said, "Well, I feel sorry for them." I said, "Did you feel sorry for them when they was eating your cats?" She looked at me and her exact words was, "I didn't think your dumb ass could catch anything." And I ended up catching about, I think it was 14 or 15 right around the house here, and 3 bobcats. And now that I've started, you can't get rid of them. All you can do is try to get them under control. But since I've started controlling them, is the best I can. Our turkey numbers are up. Our deer numbers are up around the house here now.
Yeah, one of my turkeys was broody. There was like 14 or 16 eggs in there, and she was laying on it for 3 weeks or more. I don't know. And then I didn't shut the barn kind of, and something dug out under their play area, this chain link fence. Got a dog kennel out there. Dug up under there and keeps digging up under her. I need to put concrete blocks, and all the eggs are gone now. She's not broody no more because something got. I don't know if it was coons, because I've been killing coons and possums. Not here lately, but last year I had a trap out there, and that brought me some heat, some people, because the trap that I got is kind of like a bear trap. It's a bucket trap, Right. You put some sardines in the back of it. You put the spring-loaded thing on it, lay it on its side, and whenever them coons or possums goes in there for the sardines, it snaps them and kills them. And so I've killed like 5 raccoons and like 8 possums. And I don't put it out in my wooded area. I have 2.5 acres here, and most of it's wooded. But if they stay back there, drink out the pond, do whatever back there, they're fine. I'm a critter lover too. But when they come up here by my chickens and turkeys and stuff like that, that's them. That's exactly on them. They're gonna get gone.
We had chickens at one time, and I mean the coons was terrible about getting in the chicken lot.
I haven't seen any sound.
I'm surprised that they can tear through that chicken wire and stuff, but they do.
I really haven't had that problem. I mean, I know they say they can tear through the chicken wire and stuff, but I guess I got chain link fence, but then I got chicken wire, and I got it buried in the ground except for out here with the turkeys, but all the chickens and stuff. And I really haven't had I know a hawk or something got one of my chickens before I put that hog wire and chicken wire above it. It's almost like an aviary, but I know they can. But I think they see it and kind of move on for the most part.
Right.
Because hardware cloth's way too dang expensive for me to do all this stuff with. So I
Yeah,
just
what
use
I ended
chicken
up
wire.
doing was using some of the 2-inch opening field fencing and going
Yeah.
around the bottom part of the chicken lot, and
Yeah.
then putting the chicken wire over top of it, and then I had the chicken wire on up, and
Yeah.
and I actually buried that field fencing in the ground a little bit, and that resolved that issue.
Yeah.
But at the time, and how I got started prepping in 2007, it was getting close to my son's birthday. He was a teenager. And I'm like, what do you want for your birthday? Well, I'll bring you a list. So he brings me a list. He's wanting this kind of backpack. He's wanting this type of gear. And he was all kind of the type, he'd go out there and stay in the mountains for a night. It didn't bother him a bit. And I'm like, why do you want all this stuff for? I'm building me a bug out bag. What in the world's a bug out bag? I had to go start researching it. And then when I figured out what he was doing, I said, oh, so if something happened, you done had it planned, you're just going to run off and leave mom and dad to defend for themselves. And they used to be, I don't know if Robert's still in here or not. Kentucky Preppers Network used to be a big thing here. It was nationwide. They had them in every state when this was all the cool kid thing. And I was actually ended up being one of the moderators for the chat for their website and on the board. And after it wasn't, cool kids wasn't doing it no more, they just kind of dissolved. Did you ever know of Kentucky Preppers Network, Robert? We used to have meetings every fall down at Mammoth Cave.
Well, I will tell you this. People think that, because people are preppers, they're doomsday preppers or anything else. And that's not true, which, honestly, the thing is, yeah, I think there's a high possibility that something like that will happen. But just being me here in Southeast Texas, when Hurricane Harvey come in, we had to evacuate. The water kept coming and coming, and we lost almost everything in our house. And it would have been a lot simpler and a lot better if we would have been prepared and had a bug out bag with us, to go. Now we got several bug out bags, and Jamie even has bug out bags for the dogs, for the critters and stuff. Because we took like all three. I think we had 3 dogs at the time plus puppies. We took like all of them in a kennel. We grabbed and put in my Pelican, my 2-man bass boat. I evacuated so many people out the neighborhood and stuff. But now we're ready for something like that. Before we wasn't ready.
Yeah, and I done a video recently, and I talked about that. And which that term's going to stick. There's no changing it. Bug out bag. But you mentioned a bug out bag, and everybody thinks, well, I'm going to strap a pack on, and I'm going to head for the mountains, and I'm going to survive and thrive. And there's nothing farther from the truth. You need an evacuation plan.
Yeah.
And you need to have this already set up ahead of time. Well, I need a place I can go north of me, south of me, east of me, and west of me, because I might not be able to travel north. In your case, you probably can't travel very far south unless you're going to get the boat right out in the ocean. Everybody's situation's different. But you can't just say, well, I'm going to go here and that's it. Or not.
I got a buddy. Well, my mom lives north, okay? And I do have a buddy that lives west of Houston and John Ortiz that I was in the Marine Corps with. And if I have to go east, that would be I'd go to the Reagan Southern Boy Prepper's house. He's in Louisiana.
You well, go Gary's.
It depends on how far east I gotta go, because Reagan's a lot closer to me. He's probably about an hour and a half from me, where Gary's like 6-7 hours away.
Yeah, I spent a year in Fort Bliss, Texas, in El Paso, 1 station unit training. And then I spent about 6 or 8 months at Fort Sam Houston in San Antonio.
Yeah.
But I didn't lose nothing in Texas. It's a good place to visit, but I just wouldn't want to live there. At least the areas I seen, all I seen was sand and tumbleweeds.
Well, Andrew's taking off.
Yeah, see you, Andrew. Appreciate you coming by.
And you up to 12 people now watching.
So, Andrew, we'll be doing this every Wednesday night. You know, if you got time, stop in. And some night I will be doing some trapping talk. In fact, I'm going to try to get with Bluegrass Trapper and see if me and him can't do a live together on a Sunday evening sometime and just talk trapping.
Well, I'll tell you what, you know Coyote, right?
Yep.
The Rights Trapping up in Washington.
Yep.
He does a lot of trapping as well.
Yeah, he had some little baby raccoons that he was having to try to feed. He was bottle feeding them and trying to find homes for them. And yeah, Robert, any time that me and you can get together and do something, I'm all for it. Be it my channel, your channel, both channels, we'll figure something out. We kind of talked about that before, and then I know you had some issues with YouTube again, so. And I don't know, like I said, I don't think there's nobody on Wednesday nights, early Eddie, that in the circles that we normally run in as far as lives.
No, pretty much not. It's pretty much open.
I know you'd mentioned about going after Jerry on Monday nights, but Coffee Walks is doing one, and I think somebody else too.
Gotcha.
Is it M&T Homestead? Which I never did. Jerry mentioned it, I think, in your live one night. I tried to put it in the comments. I don't think he's seen it. He was talking about, you know, these areas on his property that he can't go nowhere because of his Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
I've got that video up, that bunch, which they sent it to me for free. A Wi-Fi bridge. I'd never heard of one. I had to look it up before I'd even offer to do a review on it. And when I seen what it was, I'm like, oh, yeah, send that to me. I installed that thing here, and I've got Wi-Fi all around my front side of my house and up to my building up on the hill now. And that would be the solution to his problem.
Yeah, well, also, I think honestly, he's went live. Hold on a second. Oh, let Gracie in here. I forget what I was going to say now. Oh, yeah. He's went live twice from like outside or whatever. And right. I don't think he's had a very big problem so far. I don't know how close to the house he is, but I think what he needs is why'd she do that? He needs a better mic because the audio quality for the last 2 weeks has been kind of bad, but they've been using audio on his phone. Hush.
I mentioned in his live last night, I've got these Cinco wireless mics. You get 2 transmitters and 1 receiver, and those things are great. And they're like $60 on Walmart.com. I mean, you know, a third the price of a set of Rhodes.
How many are there?
You get 2 transmitter mics and 1 receiver.
Okay, yeah, then that would work great because Susan, his wife's been going live with him, and sometimes we can hear him, but it's harder to hear her. And so, yeah, you may want to, or hold on, let me write it down.
Yeah, I put it in his chat on his live the other night.
Well, I don't know how much Jerry actually reads chat. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
How do you spell it? Cinco, Synco?
Yep. Just, you know, they're cheaper on Walmart than they are on Amazon.
Really? Okay. Well,
and they charge, you know, they're wireless. You recharge them with a USB-C.
How long's the battery last? Do you know?
I've used mine for hours.
Okay.
And cool. The batteries, I haven't run the batteries dead yet on them. I've run camera batteries dead several times, but them still be going.
I'm sorry to hear that, Robert.
Yeah. Yeah, Robert, my son just called me right before I went live and said, guess what? I finally got Starlink.
Now, you seem to have pretty good internet, but some of these people in Kentucky and Tennessee, like Chris, Tennessee Bushcrafter, man, y'all's internet.
Hey, mine, like I said, normally hits 1.5 or best effort. The best effort is less than one. I'm surprised that it's held up tonight, to be honest with you. I know last week, right at the end, my camera quit working, but I found out what that was. I've got one of these USB ports, multi ports down here, plugged up underneath my monitors and everything. And then one of the plugs in it was bad, and that was the one my camera was plugged in. If you breathed on it hard, the camera would disconnect. And I moved it to another plug. It's worked so far tonight, too. But yeah, Robert, most of the time when I upload a video, whatever time I decide to go to bed that night, if it's 9 or 10 o'clock, I start uploading it. That way, when I get up in the morning to go to work, it's usually done. And that's for an 8 to 10 minute video. And, which they keep saying we're getting fiber, but if they don't do something pretty soon, I'm probably going to go ahead and bite the bullet and get Starlink. Because everybody that I've talked to that's got it loves it. And
were those the
to you, Robert, because you actually took a video of their satellites going overhead.
Yeah, so did Gary in Mississippi. He was saying UFOs.
Yeah, that's the thing, Robert. They told us earlier this year that we would be getting the fiber optic this year, and they ain't strung 1 inch of cable nowhere yet. So it ain't going to be this year. I see the phone company's point behind it. There's not that many houses in this area that it's worthwhile to them to spend the money to put the infrastructure in.
That's the issue that we kind of had when we first moved out here. We had AT&T internet and cable or whatever, but it was like 1.5, internet. And for like 2 years, they were like, well, we got to get approval from the city and we got to get approval from the neighborhood and everything else. Well, they finally ran it out here. And so since they've ran it out here, fiber, I love it. We switched over. We actually got rid of DirecTV because
that's my plan.
Yeah, when they ran the fiber, we went to AT&T, the fiber, plus we went to DirecTV Stream, and it was cheaper with the DirecTV Stream than with the satellite. And you use the internet we use the internet for everything, but plus you get added channels. It was cheaper, and you got added channels for going stream. Now, the only issue that I've actually seen with DirecTV Stream is there's a lag, okay? Meaning that I see stuff on stream, on the TVs and stuff, slower than all my friends do that's on cable or whatever, because there's a little bit of a delay, not lag, but a delay. And so I'll be watching a football game and talking to one of my friends on the phone, and a play will happen with them before me, and I'm like, crap.
Yeah, that drives me crazy, like with this live right now. And I had to switch the way I had my screen set up. I'm looking at the StreamYard screen because there's a lag between what I see on the StreamYard screen and the lag at what's on this YouTube screen over here to my left.
Yeah, well, that happens with everybody because StreamYard we're live, and then YouTube there's a little bit of a delay, but that's because we're recording live and then it's feeding it to YouTube and then YouTube's feeding it back out. So that's a normal thing, but that's how my DirecTV is though. Just like this, there's a little bit of a lag.
Yeah, Robert, that's why we're supposed to be getting fiber optic now. They got part of that, I guess, under that infrastructure bill that they passed that time or whatever. I guess it's paying for the fiber optic to be installed, and then, the phone company ain't going to be losing no money on the running all that fiber optic cable, so they get to make all the money when everybody signs up to it.
Well, that's the problem when they ran fiber in our neighborhood. My buddy T-Rock moved to the back of the neighborhood, and they skipped his street or something. Everybody's got fiber in the neighborhood except him, and he does IT stuff, and he works from home and stuff like that, IT support or whatever. And so it's really hurting and frustrating him, and he calls all the time, and they just skipped that street for some reason. I don't know if it was because of cost effectiveness or what, because there's only 4, 5, 6 people on that street, I think, but I don't know. I feel bad for him, man.
Yeah, there's like 7 houses in this whole holler I live in, and we're all family anyway. That's kind of the other thing about us hillbillies. We're a little bit clannish.
Well, see, here's the thing. I don't think hillbilly is a derogatory term because, I mean, I take pride in being called redneck, white trash, whatever you want to call me. But the thing is when somebody calls me a hillbilly, I'm like, it's not, to me, it kind of upsets me, not because it's a derogatory term or anything else, but it's because it's inaccurate. I don't live in the hill country in North Texas. I don't live in Tennessee or Kentucky in the mountains or hills or whatever else. But it's just down here, it's like plains, and there ain't no hardly hills around here. So by calling me a hillbilly, it's like inaccurate. And you can call me redneck, white trash, whatever, blue collar, whatever. But, hillbilly's just not accurate with me.
Yeah, Janet and Nancy, if you've got good internet, you don't know what a blessing it is to have it, I'll tell you, until you don't have it.
Yeah.
Like I said, I'm basically a step above dial-up. I think Robert's in the same situation.
Exactly, yeah. I know how that is.
Good. But
I don't got none.
Yeah, somebody commented the other night, I don't know whose line, it might have even been mine, but I thought it might have been Gary's or something, that they needed a translator for me. And Gary's like, what are you talking about? I understand him just fine. They didn't speak hillbilly. Yeah, that's crazy, Robert.
Yeah, it is.
That's like us. The only game in town for us is Windstream. There's no cable TV up here. So you can't get cable internet. They've got a monopoly on it, and they could care less. It's, well, you take what we give you, or you just do without.
Yeah.
Of course, they get real mad now when you mention Starlink to them.
Well, the thing with everything going digital and everything, I don't freaking get it because of the fact that people, with everything going digital, you want high speeds to do stuff digitally online, whether it's ordering through Amazon or whatever, streaming and the streaming platforms and everything. You can't leave me alone.
Yeah, there's still 7 hanging in here. And Nancy, I've been running your playlist as much as I can. So I hope it's helping you out some. You've got a lot of videos. I know that. I think it was way over 300, wasn't it, on your master playlist?
Wow, she got more videos than I do, I think. What up?
Which I can't remember. She said the other night how long she'd been doing this. She'd been at it a long time. And I'm kind of like, well, I'll get there when I get there. Of course, everybody wants it. We want it and we want it now. But I think long term, you're actually better off to build it slowly. Yeah, Joe, some people think that's, like Eddie was saying, that's a derogatory term and they just don't know. I know when I was and that was in 1987, and basic training at Fort Bliss, Texas, and everybody had to kind of tell their life story and different things. And I was mentioned about, I can remember not having running water, and they said I was lying, that people don't live like that. I'm like, well, yeah, they still do in Eastern Kentucky. Not very many anymore, but at that time, when I was a child, it was rather common. We was all poor, we just didn't know it.
Yeah, it's not, to me, it's not, if I lived in Tennessee or whatever, I wouldn't care, but it's just not inaccurate, or it's inaccurate when.
Yeah, the only thing nowadays, and I mention that all the time, and I mentioned it, I think, in Susan's channel the other night. I wished I would have paid more attention to my grandparents now than I did when I was younger. I wasn't interested in trying to learn how to grow a garden or, I had my grandpa on my mom's side made the bark bottom chairs, we called them, the basket weave chair bottoms and stuff. he kept rolls of bark that he stripped off in the creek soaking so it'd be pliable so he could weave it real easy. I never did want to learn how to do none of that stuff. And now I see them selling them things for $200 at Cracker Barrel.
Yeah.
I wish I learned how to do that.
Well, just like gardening, my grandpa was a farmer. He had a farm up in Indiana, and I try to grow stuff out here, and I don't know if it's a heat or what, but I can keep it green, and I can get buds, little flowers budding out, but I can't get them to produce fruit. I mean, I'm gonna give it a couple tries. I'm gonna do a fall one here probably, and maybe a summer one. I need to go make a video planting tomorrow or something. Not tomorrow, I'm gonna be busy, but sometime here real shortly, I'm starting the seeds in my fall garden, and hopefully, because the heat will be gone, so hopefully I can get stuff going. But it's just some of my plants die and some of them's green that just don't produce.
The only advice I would have, and you've probably already done that, is try to find somebody local and get some seeds from them that's more acclimated to your area versus buying them at Walmart or whatever. I've had good luck with House Tools with their stuff, and they you can talk to them or send them an email, and they'll guide you to what's more liable to work in your area. That's like tomato plants I grow here probably ain't going to grow in Texas.
Yep, exactly. Well, I have trouble Funny thing is, a few years ago, we had our god kids over, and I guess one of them threw a tomato or whatever out in the yard, okay? Like a year later, and it was little cherry tomatoes or something like that. A year later, it sprouted a little tomato plant, and we put a little cage around it, and we got, 7, 8 tomatoes off of it or something like that. Well, then, I don't have a working lawnmower, okay? And so when I do do the yard, because I got weeds taller than me and stuff, but when I do the yard, it's like with a weed eater, a DeWalt weed eater that's battery powered. I go through like 5, 6, and it just around the house, not even, way out there. Well, this summer I was weed eating out there, and the grass was real high and stuff like that. I seen something red down there, and it was in a different place too. And I seen something red, and I reached down. There was like 13, and I cut the tree down accidentally with the weed eater, but there was like 13 little cherry tomatoes or grape tomatoes or whatever in the tall grass, and I gathered them up, come in here and washed them and ate them. But it was something that I didn't even plant, and it keeps sprouting year after year.
Right, and if you can ever get, and it'd have to be an heirloom variety, but if you could get a plant to produce in your soil at your home, and you could save some seeds from it, the next year you would do good, because they're acclimated to that soil, that they're used to that soil, those temperatures, the amount of rain, or whatever. But they have to be an heirloom variety because it might be a big.
This one is,
and then you save seeds from it, and it's not heirloom. And then when you plant them, they'll be the little cherry tomatoes.
Oh, really? Wait a minute.
Yeah.
So this may not have been a cherry tomato that they threw out or whatever? It
could have been a hybrid tomato, and work back to the main gene of that plant. So, and that main,
I didn't know that.
Crossed it with could have been a cherry tomato, and that he'll go back to that dominant strain. If you save seeds from one that ain't a hybrid.
I'm sorry, I ate them all. They were good. Nancy said, take one and save some seeds from it, but I can't do that. They taste too good. If it's a pretty tomato, I'm gonna eat it.
You can get a lot of tomato seeds from one little tomato. You can spare one, Eddie. Yeah, well, maybe if those volunteer plants, that's what I'm talking about. They're acclimated to that soil and stuff. As long as it's an heirloom, they'll do real good for you.
Well, I'm sure I left some rotten ones in there or something, to make her sprout next year.
Yeah, my wife thought one of the I grew some 2 years ago, the Cherokee tan pumpkins, which is the original pumpkins that the Cherokee Indians raised. They don't get real big, maybe that big. They're a heavy producer, and they'll stay good on a shelf for 18 months.
Oh, wow.
And we had one that went bad, and she throwed it out behind the house, and I got to looking, and we had a big pumpkin plant running off the hillside and growing down beside the house and running all over volunteered from where she throwed that one out.
Hey, Elliot, how you doing, brother?
Oh, Elliot, me and Eddie's just talking about a little bit of everything, and I talked a little bit of prepping food and water storage earlier tonight. I'm going to try to go live every Wednesday night at 7 p.m. If you get a chance and can stop in, appreciate it. Type 45. If not, Bob ain't went to sleep again. It'll drop you a link for the people that don't have you, but most of us in here already have each other.
Yeah, I picked up 2 people in here tonight that I wasn't subscribed to. I think it was Joe Black and somebody else. The other one,
County Line.
Andrew. Yeah, Andrew.
County Line Adventures. And yeah, Andrew's good people. And he does a lot of interesting stuff. He gets a lot of flack. He takes his kids outside and just lets them be kids out in the doors. And people's like, "Oh, I can't believe you're letting your kids just run wild." And how they ever going to learn?
Yep.
But they're in West Virginia.
Oh, okay.
Where Andrew's at.
On Corporal's Corner, his @ is Recall 5811. I'm wondering if that has anything to do with being recalled to active duty or whatever. And I'm wondering if the 5811 was not his MOS.
Yeah. Well, looking at him, he's in physical condition more than enough to be called back, but I think he's past the age to get called back up.
Yeah, well, I understand that, but
he might have got called back up at another time,
yeah.
though.
Yeah, that's what I'm talking about.
But yeah, he's got some really good bushcraft survival stuff out there.
You know what the MOS 5811 is in the Marine Corps? Military police. So I'm wondering if he was an MP when he was in.
Yeah, good possibility. And he's still, he's a big on the old Alice gear, Deuce gear, I think.
Yeah, that's what we had. Yeah, that's what we had. Alice packs and everything else.
Yeah, that's what I had. We had they did issue us them Kevlar flak vests and woodland camo that nobody didn't want to wear because it's like, putting on a coat in the middle of July.
No, the worst thing ever was wearing MOP gear. I went to NBC school, nuclear, biological, and chemical warfare. That was because the field jackets and stuff that we had, we could at least take the inside liners out and everything else. But the MOP gear, man, you was in that, and it was like an oven in there with you. And then once you took it off and everything, you had charcoal all over your arms and everything else, man.
Yeah, we'd pour about a pint of water out of each one of them rubber gloves.
Yep.
The little cotton liners that went in them wasn't worth a dime. And had the little lace-up booty things that you had to put on. And, yeah, we was doing Reforger in Germany one year. And so you're out there for like 2 weeks. And, of course, we had latrines dug. And our platoon sergeant, we was in MOP level 4. And you got all these NATO generals and colonels and everybody standing around, and so you got to have it in. Your filters better be in. Your lenses better not be fogging up. And we seen him take off in a dead run toward that toilet that we had made. He got about halfway and he just stopped and just started walking real slow. And then come back out. We all asked him. We knew what happened. He didn't make it. Yep, I hated the old MOP gear and them old chemical masks.
Yep.
And try to drink out of that canteen connected to that thing. That was a waste of time.
Well, what I hated when I was in, they went from a gas mask that had a filter on both sides to a gas mask that only had on a filter on one side. And the issue that I had was whenever you went, we had to go in and qualify once a year for, in the gas chamber and everything else. Well, the old filter or the old gas mask we had, I had no problems with it, no issues whatsoever or anything else. Well, here's the thing. I'd always go to the E Club, and I had a buddy that was at the E Club with, that I'd play pool with, drink with, and everything else. Now, he was the NBC instructor at the gas chamber. Okay. Well, so I'm like, all right, this is gonna be a breeze when I went through requal and everything. And so I went in, I was one of the first people in, one of the first groups in. And, we went in with our masks on, they lit up CS gas, smoked it all up, everything, had us take it off or whatever. And then when we went to Dawn and Clear, I went to Dawn and Clear, but I could not get a seal because that stupid filter on the opposite side kept pulling the mask down or whatever, where there was a small little leak or whatever, and kept getting in there. Well, I left. I swear, I thought he'd say, all right, you trust your mask, go on or whatever. He made me go in that. I was like one of the last groups in too. Like, I went in the gas chamber like 4 or 5 times, and every single time I could not get a freaking seal because of that freaking mask. And he thought it was hilarious. He just kept sending me back to mess with me and stuff.
Yeah, the ones I had now had the 2 filters inside the mask, so you had to take the mask off to change filters. So that wasn't a very good design, because those filters don't last a whole long time.
Yeah.
But yeah, that's what the whole thing looks like, Elliot. I was just trying to hide my ugly room behind me. And I don't have no fancy green screens or none of them projector things that you put behind you. I took a curtain rod and a bed sheet. It made me
that's basically what my green screen is. I ain't got it shut right now. That's the back wall. But the green screen I bought for like $8, $9 on Amazon, and I ran a string from one wall to the other wall and threw the green screen over it and put little safety pins on the, like, when you fold it over or whatever, and so it slides open and shut on the string that I got up there. But see, it wasn't closed or anything. But then I just throw whatever I want to up on as far as the background.
Yeah, Elliot, if you can find one, the older style face pieces that firefighters wear for their breathing masks and everything that goes to their tanks and regulators. The old style had what we call an elephant trunk that's screwed into the front of it. If you can find one of those in good shape, the mask will work fine, and the NATO filters will screw into the front of that with no problem. And it'll save you a whole lot of money versus paying $200 or $300 for one of the gas masks, other than you can get some of the Israeli masks. But yeah, those MSR face pieces that firefighters wear, if you get the right type, the threads are the same as a NATO gas filter.
I know what he did. My numbers ain't coming up, my stickers, because when T-Rock was messing with my stuff, my pictures the other day, I can guarantee you.
Yeah, your audio changed.
What's it doing?
You've turned the wrong filter on. It's like you're using voice changing software on your audio now.
Yeah, I didn't do it. It automatically switched over for some freaking reason.
Hello, Mark J. Got your package today, I see. Then you got to do a video, Mark J. Larson, making a poncho shelter with that Rapid Ridgeline now. It won't be long, it'll be trapping season. And Mark, type 45 in the chat, and Nightbot will drop the link to your channel, so some of these people that may not know you can go check your channel out. And for those of you that don't know Mark J. Larson, he's good people. Does a lot of good trapping videos. He's got some really nice videos that he put together. He took pallets in his unfinished basement, and as he calls it, Larson's lair. I think it's his pouting room when his wife's mad at him. But he just took pallet wood and he has made a beautiful room in his basement using pallet wood. And he's got a real good video showing you how he did that.
Hmm.
And that was the other thing. Not to make Mark's head swell or anything, he done it all for the right reasons. But Al's Outdoors, his wife is very, very ill, and medical bills sky high, and money being an issue. And Mark and a couple of the trapping channel outdoor channels, Boxy Outdoors and Off the Hook Outdoors, all got together and done a live benefit auction for Al's Outdoors on a Saturday night. They probably went 6 hours, I'd say, with auctioning off stuff that other content creators and channels all got together and donated and raised, well, might as well say $10,000 for Al toward his wife's medical bills. And I thought that was something that was really great. That's one thing that people overlook about the YouTube community a lot of times.
Yeah.
Certain groups on YouTube anyway and channels will get together and help people that need help. Yeah, if you want the drinking straw tube with the mask, you'll have to get one of the military ones, Elliot, because the one like I'm talking about won't have the drinking straw tube with it. Hello, Country Boy Outdoors. And Country Boy, again, type 45 in the chat, and Nightbot will drop your channel link so people can go and check you out that may not be familiar with you.
He moved all my pictures. Now my members ain't there. Oh my gosh.
No, I didn't move them.
No, not you.
Okay, Joe, welcome aboard anyway. You don't have to have a channel to come in here and chat with us and try to learn something, throw some knowledge in there that you might have. We can all learn from each other.
Okay, I found those.
Yeah, Mark, drop type 45 and your link should drop. Or Elliot said he wanted to see your basement there that you finished with them pallets and nothing else. Drop the link to that video. But the easiest thing just be type 45 and it should drop your channel link and they can go check that out. It turned out really good. Yeah. I think, Mark, didn't you build your bar and stuff out of that pallet wood too? There it is, Elliot. Nightbot just dropped his link. And Mark, I know you, like everybody else, we all busy, but if there's some night or you want to get together and do a live on trapping, let me know and I'll definitely try to jump in and add my little bit of limited knowledge. Enos went live our Sunday and talked about dyeing and waxing traps. And it won't be long that I'm going to have to start. Oh, be getting some traps set and getting some trapping content out. Yeah, my hour-long lives went to an hour and 35 minutes.
Yeah, it's 2 hours and 40 minutes.
Yeah, it is. Yeah, I started at 7 o'clock. That's all right. I get to work from home tomorrow, so I won't have to get up as early. Yeah, that was the only thing you liked, wasn't it, Mark? Was the doors? The last video I'd seen that you had up, I think you'd put the framing and everything in, and you'd ordered some parts, I think, to finish up them doors.
Wow. Everything's built from pallets?
Yep. His bar,
Wow.
the walls, everything is finished. He just used pallet wood.
Wow.
And
those pallets are in good shape.
Yeah, they hadn't laid outside for a long time, that was for sure. But I mean, that to me, and maybe Mark knows a secret, but that's a lot of work to cut all them pallets apart and not bust that wood up. And
yeah. I'm gonna have to watch that.
And I would have never thought of, he put the black roofing felt behind on the walls and then put the pallet wood over top of it. That way it's dark behind it. So, you're not seeing any open seams or anything, even though there kind of might be a little bit of a seam there. Yeah, it turned out great.
He did have the roof is corrugated metal.
Mm-hmm.
Is that styrofoam 4x8 sheets as far as under the corrugated metal roof? And then I guess the 2x4s for the framings, just regular 2x4s and stuff.
Yeah, and he actually used some of the 2x4s out of the pallets too. So he didn't buy a whole lot of lumber if he bought any to do all that. And he used that, like you're talking about, the corrugated metal, I think is part of the ceiling. But yeah, it turned out great. Yeah, Mark was one of the winners of my giveaway last week.
Oh wow. I'm still getting buffering.
Yeah, all the framing is from pallets.
How's he get pallets that big? Or does it? Let's see. For like the wall there? Where it looks like it's 8 foot going into that.
Yeah, I don't know where he got those pallets, or if they're the standard 4x4 pallets, or I know we got some come in and work there one time, and they was some beautiful wood in them. They was like 8 foot long. I forget what came on them. Yeah, it's just standard size pallets.
Wow.
Yeah, it was one of the things that they auctioned off that night that was really neat, which it went for a good sum of money. One of the guys from, where's he in Colorado, Mark, that donated the finished tan coyote. that he actually autographed it inside it, and I didn't know it until he mentioned it during that auction that night. He's actually on Mountain Men this season on History Channel, and he signed it on the inside, Mountain Men season 12, and put his name on it.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, the last time, Elliot, I knew there was a $10 deposit, and that's been a while on pallets now. Yeah, Montana.
Hmm.
Yeah, I guess Paul made it in Mountain Bushcrafters Alliance. Our buddy over here lives next county over from me. He didn't make it to Mountain Men this year. I know he would audition for it. He's got some nice videos, Mountain Bushcrafters Alliance. He spent the whole trapping season last year in Kentucky and basically one of the little sheds that people use for storage. Put it up in the mountains and stayed there the whole season off grid, trapped. And there was a couple of times I was kind of worried about him because we had some very bad temperatures here. Which he had a wood burning cook stove and all that inside it, but it wasn't insulated very good or nothing at that time. So see, this channel ain't just all prepping. Everybody gets to see how to make a pallet room now. I would have figured the YouTube police would have showed up by now. He must be busy tonight.
Yeah.
I can't remember whose live it was, but I think he had just started that channel. And he popped in the chat, and the chat got quiet, and nobody wasn't saying nothing. And somebody finally typed in there and said, "Hey, don't worry about YouTube police. He's good people."
It was probably YouTube police. It was probably Gary on his other channel saying.
Yeah, so I said it was YouTube police when he first started that channel. He didn't come in there as belt loop, so nobody knew who he was.
Well, he's good people sounds like a Gary saying, a Garyism.
Yeah, Mark, Roland don't live far from me. Probably 30 minutes or 30 to 45 minutes. We don't have the best roads as far as that is. Yeah, he's like the next county over. I've never met him in person yet. I thought he would be at that spring bushcrafters meet they had, but he didn't make it. Yeah, Nancy, that's the other thing that kind of irritated me today. I got several notifications throughout the day that new subscribers, and when I left work, I had 904, and when I got home, I had 898. I don't know where the 6 went. I guess it was 6 people didn't like me no more or something. Or I've noticed a lot of times, like on these live streams, people will subscribe to me and I subscribe to them. But if you ain't watching the video and doing all that stuff first, they'll show up on your count. They don't go watch nothing. And then the next day, YouTube takes them back away from you. They're counting it as a sub for sub.
Yeah. YouTube does like a lot of that.
Yeah. Mark
well, I know
says
YouTube. I know
now.
YouTube. I know YouTube was having issues glitching out too, though, because I had several people complaining that YouTube took away their mods and everything else.
Yeah, and I noticed it came back again the other night. You'll type something in the chat and you'll get an error message.
Yeah, that's happened too. Yeah.
Yeah, 908. I'll get that 1,000 eventually. But, yeah, and Mark, I don't know how far you are from Western Kentucky, down toward the Paducah area, but United Trappers of Kentucky's meet's coming up the end of September. I can't make it. It's too far for me. It's 5.5 hour drive for me. And my truck is not running very good right now. But Dale Billingsley's going to be there. Bill Duke is going to be there. Plus all the Kentucky Trappers. Going to be a good meeting. So if you're close enough to drive down there on a Saturday, it'd be worth it to you. Let's see. I'll try to pull it up and tell y'all exactly where it's at. Nick Ernie's going to be there too, Mark. Lion Convention Center, Eddyville, Kentucky. Arkansas Trapper is going to be there too, or he said he was going to be there. Of course, Tandy's Lures will be there. And there are going to be some good people there. I'd like to go, but I've got that fine 5.3 engine that Chevrolet come out with, and it's dropped lifters twice now. This last time I spent about $3,000, and it still ain't right. So I'm afraid to try to head out on a big long trip in it. Yeah, Joe, if you can make it to that meeting, it'd be worth your time. There's no charge. It's 28th and 29th of September, I believe. '29th and 30th. There'll be a lot of really good trapping demos from some really good trappers going on. Yeah, I wasn't for sure exactly where you was at in Illinois, Mark. I didn't know if you was down closer that direction, or sounds like you the opposite direction.
Oh, Gary, I want to jump off here, brother. I'm
All
gonna
right,
go.
Eddie. I appreciate all your help, and I think we'll call. I'm gonna call it a night too. 'Cause,
Well, 5 minutes, you got 3 hours.
yeah, I'll stay for 5 minutes, but
Well, give me a second. I'll be back for 5 minutes, but I gotta go get a drink.
okay. Well, Joe, watch that video, Marks, and you can put them 12-foot pallets to use. I seen Boxy's getting ready for archery season on his videos here lately. Yeah, you too, Mark. And hey, everybody, go check out our treasured home. Nancy and her granddaughter do a lot of cooking videos and stuff, and she definitely shares her faith, and that's great. And she's trying to get her watch hours in. She's been doing this for 5 years, and she's real close. So if some of you could go and help her out and watch some of her videos or run her playlist, it would definitely be appreciated. Night, Robert, Elliot. Oh, you're more than welcome, Nancy. I didn't even realize you was working on watch hours until Eddie mentioned it the other night, or I'd have been running your playlist a lot sooner. Which I've been trying to help Dez and DJ get over the hump. And they're there now, so now it's your turn. Yeah, Nancy, I think I put my first video up toward the end of September, around 20th or something. So got about a week coming up on my 1 year anniversary. And my plan was, well, I'm going to try to retire in 3 years. And I thought, well, maybe I can get my YouTube channel up and going, and to where I can maybe make a little money on the side in 3 years when I retire. And I thought it would take me 3 years to get to 1,000, and it's actually done a lot better than I thought. So, of course, I'll never make enough that I could retire before 3 years, but I think some people think, well, I'm going to get monetized and I'll just have all this money rolling in, and I just don't think they realize they're not going to make that much off of it.
Yo. Now, here's the thing. When I started my YouTube channel, it wasn't to get rich, or it wasn't to make a living off over anything else. I started.
Yeah, your voice changer's on again.
Yeah.
Thank you, Mark.
Uh, Mine was initially to just try and make a little spare money to help augment my money that I had coming in. And if I make $100 a month, $300 a month, it all helps. So
Right. And that's kind of the way I'm looking at it. If once I retire, you get a couple $100 a month off of it. That's a couple $100 a month you didn't have coming in.
yeah,
And I enjoy doing it. That's the other thing. If it ever gets to the point that it's a full time working job, I'm probably not going to do it very much because that's going to take the fun out of it.
yeah,
And I like getting on here and meeting new people and talking to people.
I do too. I like meeting people and helping people and stuff like that. But when it gets to the point to where it's constant from the time I wake up to the time I go to sleep, that's what kind of got me. And that's not even working on my channel. That's
Right.
just helping other people all the time. And it was like going to lives all the time. And I mean, I don't mind helping people, don't get me wrong. It was the part of me going to people's lives all day, every day, and trying to get subscribers and trying to get supporters and stuff like that. It was like more than a full-time job, not doing what I enjoyed. It
Right.
was
Taking
doing
no
what,
fun in
what was required or whatever to do it.
it. That's like, I talked to you earlier about setting up Nightbot and stuff. And then I knew you was busy. And that's like last week, Rebecca's like, well, hell, man, I'll call Eddie. And I'm like, Eddie's busy. Leave Eddie alone.
No, that does not
Right.
bother me. What bothers me is like, okay, when I don't, okay, I've had several people ask me to help them, okay, and I've helped these people, and then what happens is they leave. They leave totally. They don't come to your lives. They don't watch your videos. They don't do nothing. They don't give you any money saying, hey, thanks. It's like you never see them again. That's like being used. Okay.
Right.
And then the other thing is somebody asks you for help and I might be busy doing something, And the thing is I'll say, hey, I can't do it today. I'll help you tomorrow, Monday or Tuesday or whatever. And then they get mad at you because they expect you to do it right then on their timeline and everything else. And I've actually gotten, stuff back from that too. And then they bug the crap out of you if you tell them, hey, I can't do it today. I'm busy, or I got to do this. I got to get to Gary's live or my live or whatever. I'll help you Monday or Tuesday. Hit me up or whatever. And then the very next time you're on a live, they're coming up on panel to ask you or asking you in chat or whatever and expecting you to do it. And I'm like, I told you I'd help you Monday or Tuesday, and they constantly, incessantly, are asking, even when you give them a time to say, hey, I'm not busy Monday, give me a call then or whatever, and that's what kind of gets to you.
Yeah, and I try to catch your lives every Saturday night, and I do miss some of them because I'm out camping or something. But
and that's expected. Yeah,
right. If I'm at home, I jump in your lives. I jump on Gary's lives. I try to jump in Dez's. I jumped in Jerry's since he's trying to hold Shirley's spot now. But that's the other thing that I think some of these people don't really consider. It's a lot of work trying to run your own channel.
Yeah, the thing is it's not people coming to my lives all the time. I don't expect that. People have, for one, they have their real lives that takes precedence. Okay. Number two, they have their own channels if they're content creators that they need to worry about before they worry about mine. But the way I see it is I haven't seen you in 6 or 8 months. For one, I'm going to, other people's lives. I'm supporting other people or whatever else. And then I never see hide nor hair of, and that means, okay, I never click the unsubscribe button. It don't hurt me to subscribe to a channel. But as far as the alarm bell, when they put something out or whatever, that's gone. It's no notifications whatsoever. Okay. And as far as me going and watching their videos, which I don't watch a whole lot of videos anyway, I do it here and there because usually I'm busy doing other stuff. I'm usually like up on your panel for 3 hours. Okay.
Right.
That takes how many videos is that? Okay. I'm supporting the way in a different way than watching your videos. Now, if I catch your video every now and then, I'm going to watch the whole dang video and I'm going to, hit the thumbs up and leave a comment to let you know I was there. But it's
Right.
not me just clicking on it and clicking off of it. I watched that video.
And
And
the people that ain't content creators, I don't think they realize that, yeah, that's a 10-minute video, but I've probably got 4 to 6 hours or more invested in that video by the time I go out and film it, which takes 4 times as long to do because you're trying to film it and then trying to edit and then put it all together and post it.
Yep. But see,
Yeah,
that's
like,
what,
10-minute video. He didn't do nothing. Yeah. Mm-hmm.
So unless I'm really interested in a video, the videos that I watch are from my members. My members always come first. They're the ones supporting me. They're the ones, that are paying and to help me out every month. That's my members come first. And then it's my subscribers and the people that come and watch my lives, come to my lives or watch my videos and stuff like that. That's the people and my close friends, but that's the people that I watch and follow. Like Tom the Keto Cook. Okay. He's a content creator. He's not at all my lives or watches all my videos or anything else. He drops by occasionally, but Tom has his own stuff, and I understand that. So, and I'm the same way. I don't go to, he was live earlier and I didn't make it, but I can't make it to everybody's everything, Then you have people, well, you're here and you never come see me. I do drop in occasionally or whatever, and I'm not multitasking right now. I'm just here. But I was multitasking a little bit with my OBS, and that's, I guess, why my voice kept changing. It's got a bug in it or something. But anyways, I can't make it to everybody. I'm only one person. There's only so many hours in the day. And I'm subscribed to over 1,000 people, closer
Right.
probably 12.
You can't watch 1,000 channels. You just can't do it. So you have to pick and choose. And I mean, I watch the stuff that interests me. I watch people that support me.
Yep.
I try to do that. And, Mark said even a bad video takes time. Yeah, Mark, and what gets me is I'll put more work and stuff into a video, and I'm like, man, this video is going to kill it. It'll get 20 views.
Mark, all I do is bad videos, so hey.
And, yeah, the one you think will do good, it won't do nothing. And when it's like one, well, this probably won't do much. I'm gonna throw it out there, and it'll do better than you. I think it's just you got to catch that moment. That it just happens to be the day people's interested in whatever you done a video on. They'll click on it. But yeah, I think we'll call it a night, everybody. It's been 3 hours. Eddie, I definitely appreciate it. I won't be able to catch you Saturday because I'll be back in the mountain with my son. He's coming in. We're gonna go back on the mountain and camp in tents or hammocks or whatever, and I'm gonna shoot some footage. And he was hoping to get to go deer hunting, but his crossbow's in the shop, so he ain't gonna get to go. It's archery season here. So he's wanting to try to do some squirrel hunting with a pistol. I wish him luck with that.
Yeah, well, thing is I'd love to go hunting, but I let my deer lease expire 3-4 years ago or something. It's just too dang expensive, and I can't freaking afford it. Plus, I'm getting old. Okay, I could go to I think Sam Houston State Park with a buddy of mine, and I think it's pretty much free to hunt out there, but it's just a long hike, and my knees and ankles won't take it no more, and stuff like that. I mean, I got my hunting license. It's just waiting for somebody to invite me out, and where I ain't got to walk freaking hump like 5 miles to get out to the blind or wherever else.
That's my thing. Of course, when I was growing up here, there was no deer, there was no turkey. There sure wasn't no elk or bears or coyotes or none of this stuff that's here now. But I mean, now I can probably stand out in the front yard and shoot a deer if I wanted to.
Well, yeah, I got 13 deer in my pond, but those are pets.
I can hunt on our property right here and trap on our property right here.
Yeah, see, here's the thing. Here in Texas, I believe you have to have 10 acres or more to legally discharge a firearm. And I only got 2.5 acres. And you got houses. I mean, we're not a subdivision. We're out in the country, but it's a neighborhood anywhere probably from half, 3/4 of an acre all the way up to 10, 15, 20 acres in the neighborhood. It's not door to door or anything. And there are 13 deer. We counted them one time. There's probably more than that, but there's 13 deer that drink at my pond out back, and plus the raccoons and armadillos and squirrels. And I mean, I threw some deer corn out one time, and the next morning I had like 100 squirrels out there eating it.
That corn costs too much to feed them anymore.
Yeah.
And
congratulations, Joe. He just retired last Thursday.
Yeah. I've got 3 more years at the earliest. But before we go, and while I got you here, Eddie, I don't think you was here when I started. Let me play this little video file for you that I come up with and see what you think.
All right. Okay, that's pretty awesome. Now, except for the only thing I have is
it's two intros together.
No. The only issue I had is that's like a unless you're going to do it every week, which is fine. You can do that. But let me tell you this. Okay, you click on your brand over at the side. Okay,
right.
Hold on a minute.
I can upload that to the brand.
Yes. That's what I'm fixing to tell you how to do. And it'll look a lot better, and that'll be the only thing on screen. Give me a sec. Let me go over here. Let me enter one of my studios so I can walk you through it.
The only thing would be I would have to change it because, see, I put that specific title in there.
Exactly, yeah. And you can change it. You can change it every week. Yeah, exactly. That's the only thing that I've seen. And you can change it every week. If you make a new one every week with the title, you can change it every week. Okay, you see over on the right-hand side where it says brand?
Yep.
Click on that, and then scroll down to where it says video clips, and there'll be a plus sign.
Yes, so it says add video clip.
Yep, click on that plus sign and add video. Go ahead and do it. I'll show you how much better it looks. And click on the video you just played, add it to there, and it'll take a couple minutes or a minute or so to upload. It don't take long. It's especially because it's a short one. The longer it is, the longer it'll take. But go ahead and do that.
Yeah. My internet speed might be the thing though.
And that's not a long one, so it won't take that long, even with slow internet.
And see that was the other thing I'd done. I kind of set this up to start 5 minutes earlier than 7 o'clock, so I had just a screenshot of that. With my name at the top and let's start prepping in the topic that I put up 5 minutes before I actually went live.
Okay, let me show you this. You can also actually put up, you scroll up. Well, I don't know. On the free version, I don't know. I don't think it allows you to do overlays. I think it lets you do videos, but not. Well, maybe it does allow overlays. Okay, you see right above there.
Overlay. Yeah, okay, I've got to add overlay.
And there's no little triangular thing there.
It's got a little yellow box in the corner with a diamond.
Yep, that's okay. Then that's only the paid version, I believe. If you click on that, don't it say upgrade or whatever? Videos you can upload, but overlays and stuff you can't on the free version.
Yeah.
But what
upgrade.
Yeah, exactly. But the videos you can. So the overlay, what I was saying though, is if you had the paid version like I do and stuff, you could put the overlay, and what an overlay it will do it is if you put an overlay there, I think there's one there. It's maybe a StreamYard one. If you click on that, you'll see will disappear and the overlay will be up there.
So yeah, it says the free plan comes with one example. If you'd like to use your own, please. Great.
Click on that example real quick.
Yeah, it's a StreamYard overlay.
Yeah, click on it real quick. Okay, that ain't even. Okay, you can unclick it. An overlay, you can have the total screen covered. Instead of just that, you can have to where our faces are covered. Okay, so you could have had a picture of your thumbnail. Let's talk prepping water and what was the name of it? Water and whatever.
Yeah, storage. Water storage.
Yeah. Okay, so that would actually been over us. And then you could have played your little intro, or you could leave that up until it's time to play your intro or whatever. And then you could play your intro while that's playing, take down your overlay. Once your intro's done, it would be you up on panel by yourself.
What I was trying to do is I'm trying to start, like if I plan on, I tell everybody 7 o'clock. But I try to start at least 5 minutes early. That way I make sure everything is working and up and running, and which that was odd to me. It was well before the time, and I hadn't clicked go live or nothing yet, but Steve was showing up in the chat.
Yeah, because he had the notification bell on. Whenever, and just like me, I got the warning like 30 minutes that you were going to go live. And I clicked the notify button. So when you did go live, it popped up and let me know Kentucky Prepper 5 is live or whatever. And that's why I got in here like 5 minutes late or whatever, because I was doing something and I was actually in the other room. And this is the first time I've been on the computer today. So when I got that notification, I got on my phone, I came in here and then got on the computer. I had turned my computer on and everything else. But yeah, that's why he was already there, is because he hit the notification letting him know that you were live, and that's why you can go in there and type and stuff like that.
Error occurred. Wait a moment. Try again. Yeah, that's my internet. I'll do it later when I'm offline.
Yeah.
The other thing I learned tonight, earlier this evening, that I didn't know, I can actually go into StreamYard and schedule these lives, and then he'll put it on YouTube. And see, before I was going to YouTube and scheduling it, but it would only let me schedule it as a webcam and not a stream. So I guess probably last week I had 2 live stream windows on YouTube at the time or whatever. So I'm just going to start scheduling them on.
That's how I schedule mine. I schedule mine through StreamYard, and StreamYard lets YouTube know, and YouTube gets all the stuff. And I mean, same thing. If you were using OBS, you can actually schedule a live through OBS. But once again, OBS does not have where people can come up on panel. It's like YouTube, unless you bring in another application called like Video Ninja or an application like that, to where it allows you to bring people up on panel. But yeah, StreamYard makes everything easy.
Yeah, I'll very go to the paid version of StreamYard. I mean,
okay, there is
what is it? Filmora, Wondershare for video editing, paying like $30 a month for that or whatever, and paying for Snappa for doing thumbnails and all that stuff.
Okay, hold on. Let me tell you this.
You talked in your live about a free version of video editing the other night.
Yeah, and it'll also do thumbnails for you. So you could get rid of 2 applications right there. Let me ask you this though: how good's your computer?
Not real good.
Okay.
It's an old. I started out with a laptop, and I noticed when I was trying to edit videos, the video was freezing because video card was no good.
Yep, a video card and RAM. Yep.
A used Dell off of Walmart that was refurbished. That was a gaming computer, so it has a real good graphics card in it.
That should be pretty good then. It should run it.
It's
Once
got
you get
Pentium 7 or whatever. Chip in.
An i7? An i7? i7's better than what I got probably. Mine's an i5.
Yeah, I think it might be a 5, or I'm thinking it's a 7. I just give like $270 or something for this thing.
Okay, what I want you to do, write this down. Once you end this live or whenever you get time, try to, and it'll tell you the specifications and everything that you need if your computer won't run it. But the free video editing software, and it'll do thumbnails as well. Now, there is a paid version of it, and I haven't even got the paid version. It'll do everything you want it to do. And it's one that me and Ralph talked about the first Saturday of this month. Now, there is, and you may want to wait because well, if this one will do it, then yes, definitely go with this one because this one's more in depth than everything else. It's called DaVinci 18 Resolve. DIVINCI, DaVinci 18 Resolve. That's free software, okay? And you can do a lot of, if you have any questions, just contact me. I'll help you out with it and everything. I hope you get started, show you how stuff is. Me and Ralph did a video of it on this last Saturday.
Yeah, I watched that, and it looks very similar to Wondershare to me.
Yes, it is. Everything is built off DaVinci. I guarantee doggone to you. DaVinci is a professional video editing software. Okay, the professionals use it. Now, they don't use the free version, but DaVinci, I can take you and, you know, if you're walking around, I can take you, your background removal, and put you walking around into another background. I cannot do that. Now, if you had a green screen behind you, I could do that. But with the free version, with the paid version, you could do that.
And that's the thing I've kind of fell out with Wondershare about. They never even answered my email back to them. This has been several months ago.
Yeah, Wondershare
video, and I pay extra to get all their stuff. And I put music in the background of that video from their service.
Yep.
And I got a copyright claim from YouTube.
Yep.
For 3 songs that I had running in the background, and I had to take that video down, take that out, and then repost it.
Yeah.
And I sent them a message, and I'm like, why did I get a copyright claim for music that I'm paying you all for?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
And they never answered me.
Well, here's the thing.
I don't music in the background anymore.
Yeah, I don't a lot of times unless it's YouTube music, okay? But here's the thing. Whenever you do get monetized, YouTube has a beta thing for channels that are monetized. It's a lot better. It has words and stuff like that. Some of it's free, some of it you do sharing, but they have licenses and stuff with it. But I don't with Wondershare, you know, you pay additional for that. I use their stuff not knowing, and then they charge me more because I did buy their program and I figured I could use everything or whatever. Well, I didn't have the stuff to where you could use the stuff, and I used it, and they charged my card the day after I bought it for $22 more for that little stuff. So, but here's the thing with DaVinci, you can download clips and stuff from places like Pixabay, which is free stuff. And whether it's, you know, and I'm always careful with music because music's a freaking touchy thing.
Right.
But as far as videos, as far as imaging, stuff like that, I use. And with DaVinci as well, you can do thumbnails. So you free up not only Wondershare because you don't need to pay for that no more. You also free up whatever you're using to do thumbnails.
Yeah. Welcome back in, Janet. We just kind of talking shop right now. Yeah, I think I paid for a year of Wondershare.
Yeah.
And then I pay a monthly subscription for their Filmora, all that extra stuff.
Yep.
In fact, they just billed me for it tonight. I seen the notification a while ago.
Yeah.
And I use that Snappa to do thumbnails, and
you can do that on
my web, on my homepage.
Yeah, you can do that on DaVinci as well. So, and it's free, so you get rid of 2 of those subscriptions or whatever else. Now, I was going to tell you something else. Oh yeah, if for some reason, I'm pretty sure your computer will run it if you have an i7 or whatever. But if it doesn't, not this coming Saturday, the first Saturday of, this is October, Ralph is going to we're going to do the live, and he's going to go over another free software, video editing software, that is not as in depth or whatever as DaVinci, but for people that DaVinci may be a little bit too much for, and it's not really hard once you get used to it. And it has it's a learning process. The more you do, the more you learn and everything else. But it would be basically a slimmed down version of DaVinci. It would be kind of like using Wondershare or whatever people are using that maybe don't have the computer power to run DaVinci. Okay, it's called CapCut. That's what he's going over. Now I've used Filmora, Wondershare, and I hated it. And I went to DaVinci, and I love DaVinci. So if your computer runs DaVinci, that's what I would recommend. That's
my son,
recommendation.
He's got what A+ certification or whatever. He liked about a semester of having his degree in computers IT, and decided that wasn't for him, and went to work in a factory, which actually ended up being a good move for him. But he looked at this thing when I got it, and he's like, "Oh, Dad, that'll do anything you want to do." And the only thing that he said, I can't remember. It may only have 16 on RAM, or it may be 32. And he said that's a 5-minute job for him to upgrade that. I just have to order.
Yeah, exactly. Upgrading RAM is easy. Right now, I was sitting at 16 gigabytes RAM, and Bobby, all it is snapping it into place and then making sure it's all timed out right. But anyways, I just went to 48 gigs of RAM, but I want to upgrade this computer to 128 gigs, which is the max. You can never have enough RAM. RAM is random access memory. Whenever you have multiple windows open, and remember, your graphics card most graphics card nowadays has RAM on them as well. If they're not integrated, if they're an actual graphics card, it has RAM. So it runs video graphics smoother. And that's what the graphics is for. For gamers, they want a lot of RAM on both their PC or their motherboard and their graphics card. But
that's the cheapest way for me to get a computer that I could edit videos on is what I looked at. And
it's
$270. It's refurbished. It's,
I'm pretty sure I'm pretty sure your computer will run DaVinci 18 Resolve. So, and all you got to do is go to DaVinci 18 Resolve's website and download the free version. And I'm pretty sure
that boy of mine, he showed me there's something I can click on and he'll tell you everything about this computer on that Windows down at the bottom, but I don't remember what it was.
Yeah, if you click on the window, or all you got to do is okay, if you click on down there in the search engine, okay, click on control panel. Are you running Windows 10 or 11? Or type control
10.
panel? Okay.
10.
It may be a little bit looking different than mine because I'm on Windows 11, but if you type in control panel and then your control panel will come up and you go down to system, find system, and you click on that, SYSTEM, it'll tell you your processor, it'll tell you your installed RAM, and it won't tell you your graphics card there. I was trying to look for that earlier, but like my Windows 11 home. Okay, did you find system?
Yeah, it's desktop Intel i5.
Yep.
It's i5.
How many gigahertz?
330.
See, yours is bigger than mine.
3 gigahertz, 16 gigabyte RAM.
Yep. Okay. See, yours is bigger than mine. I have a 12th generation i5 with 2.5 gigahertz, and the installed RAM, I just upgraded that the day before yesterday, and I got 48, but I did have 16 before, and I was still running DaVinci Resolve. So you got a pretty decent system there. Yours is better than mine, and I do a lot of stuff with mine. Now, as far as your graphics card, I don't know what your graphics card is. It's a gaming computer, so I'm assuming it's probably better than mine as well. The only thing that sucks for you, Gary, is your internet connection right now.
Well, yeah, that and this computer will do way more than what I know how to do with.
Yeah, it will. You got a good system. Well, I asked you how good your computer was. You're like, probably not that good. Your computer is better than mine, and I have a decent computer, but yours is better. Your motherboard, your processor's faster. You ain't got as much RAM as I do now, but that's upgradable. That's easy fix. Easy. And that has to do with how fast it runs.
Janet, type 45 and make sure your link drops. I don't know that there's many. Well, they ain't. I think just me and you and Eddie in here right now, but
Yep, there it is.
I can definitely make sure that I am subscribed to you, and I can be running some of your playlists too. So
Janet's great. She's one of my members as well.
I'm probably already subscribed to her then, but I just want to make absolutely sure. Yeah, it won't let me go to her where I'm in here right now.
On your YouTube side, click on it, not StreamYard side.
Yeah, I'm on the YouTube side, and it says replace pinned message, report, remove.
Oh, you're trying to pin it. Just click on go to channel.
Yeah, it ain't giving me that option.
Down on her comment on her link.
Yeah.
Not up top, down at the bottom. Oh.
Yeah, it's just giving me replace message, report, remove, put them in timeout, hide user as moderator.
Yeah, the very top one says go to channel on mine. I mean,
yeah, see, it's not on mine. I don't know if it's because I'm the.
No, that might be a YouTube bug.
Yeah. Because I know if I'm in somebody else's live stream, I can click on them three dots and I can go to their channel right then. But
yeah,
something screwy on that.
Yeah, but if she's been in one of your lives before, the odds are very good that I'm already subscribed to her.
Go to your private chat on StreamYard and try to click on that link. Because I just dropped it in there.
Yeah. No, it went to that other link. Hold on. Okay, yeah, this new one. Nope. Went back to my live stream.
Hey, hold on a second. So, see, I click on Janet. It's going there. Maybe.
Yeah, but maybe I didn't copy it. Hold on.
Paste. Yeah, it's different. Maybe I copied the wrong one. Whoops. That may have been my fault. Now click on it.
Yeah, there you go. Yeah, I'm already subscribed. I figured I was.
Oh, she said you commented on her short today and you have been to her lives.
Huh. Yeah, I think she actually subscribed to me today, and that's when I went and I seen her short pop up, or think it was. And,
hello. My voice sounding funny again?
No.
Okay. Thought I heard it on. Anyways. Well, Gary, you've kept me here about 30 minutes longer.
Yeah, my wife has been hollering at me for about an hour and a half now. It's way past her time for her medicine that I have in here, so I have to take it to her. So I definitely appreciate it. Appreciate it, Jan. And anybody, if you come back and watch this later, appreciate you coming in and watching it. Hopefully you learned something from the earlier parts, or maybe you even learned something from the later parts, because we've talked about a little bit of everything. So until next Wednesday night, everybody have a blessed week. Night, everybody.